place on earth like Tiger Stadium after dark on an autumn Saturday. Death Valley roars to life. A deafening display of unity for the passionate faithful of LSU. But for visitors, this is college football's most hostile house, hands down. Tonight, the Tigers and the Gators. Bad blood has built up and sometimes boiled over. Will unbeaten Florida face it or flinch? LSU and quarterback Joe Burrow hope to unleash a lethal passing game against the best defense he has faced. This should be a lot of fun tonight on the Bayou. And welcome to College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton. Death Valley is electric, cool night in Baton Rouge. Tremendous anticipation for this collision of top 7 teams, unbeaten in the SEC. And welcome to Tiger Stadium. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Maria Taylor, and Tom Rinaldi will join us. It gets dark around here, partner, and the memories come flooding back. Maybe these two teams will give us something to remember tonight.
Well, there's a buzz in the air that's just different. You could tell the build-up's been going on all week, but even on the field before the game, you could tell there's a lot at stake. It's one of those games you just hope it lives up to the billing that we've had all week long.
They're so excited about this new-look offense. The Stone Age is over in Baton Rouge. Joe Burrow and those receivers scored almost a point a minute so far.
I would argue that it's probably the story coming into this weekend of college football. Joe Burrow, this new offense of Joe Brady, who came over from the New Orleans Saints. No longer I formation, 2 receivers out, max protection. They're 5 receivers out, full read, progression reads, doing a great job of just being in command of this offense. Now, it gets tougher tonight. Best defense he's seen. They can rush the quarterback without blitzing, and they can cover with a great secondary.
He projects calm and confidence. Now, can his counterpart for the Gators, Kyle Trask, do that in really the first true road start of his career, high school or college? He's got a knee issue coming in. He's got a big test tonight. We've seen experienced quarterbacks wilt in here.
Yeah, veteran quarterbacks have a hard time. Death Valley at night challenges anybody. But I think Dan Mullen's experience of coming in here with quarterbacks, trying to put them in a position to have success could help. But let's watch. I want to look at his eyes early in this game, see if the moment and the noise and all the distractions affect him and the communication of this Florida offense.
LSU's defense has had some issues, but they're getting healthy. They want to make a statement tonight. Tiger Stadium, LSU, Florida, Battle of Unbeatens coming up.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
It is a pantheon of concrete and steel. It rises defiantly in the Delta, alongside the father of waters. It is the humidity of autumn evenings that drapes stately oaks and broad magnolias. It is haunted, and it is loud.
LSU Tigers go to war. 1, 2, 3, let's go. If you ain't a Gator, you Gator bait.
It is a Louisiana gumbo of humanity that cheers its Tigers to victory and destroys the dreams of invading foes. It is the cathedral of college football, and worship happens here. When the sun finds its home in the western sky, it is a field of glory for sure.
This is what it's all about. They have 11 guys going as hard as they can every single snap for 60 minutes.
It is a sacred place, and it is Saturday night in Death Valley.
And Ed Orgeron's Bayou Bengals begin a challenging stretch, what they hope will take them into playoff contention. It takes a good team and a special effort to beat LSU here at night. And we'll see if the Florida Gators are up to it. It's been pretty mellow. No pushing and shoving. Both teams heeding the warning of their head coaches. You better save your fighting for after the ball's kicked off.
No doubt about that. And really the start of this game, I think, is going to be exciting because you have LSU that when teams come in here, they want to attack. And with the offense that they have, it's a new approach. They don't beat you with defense and just kind of getting enough from their offense. They are in attack mode on offense. How do the Gators handle that? And then Kyle Trask. You know, if they get the ball first or an early part of this game, Do they settle in? Dan Mullen's personality is a little bit more of a kind of a risk taker, a guy that's willing to take a few chances. He's been in this environment. He knows. That's why I'm saying Kyle Trask hasn't. Dan Mullen has. He's the key.
Yeah, can they protect Kyle Trask? Fumbles have been a problem. 5 of them. Strip sacks can completely deflate an offense and energize LSU's defense in this crowd. So you know that's got to be in the back of his mind. Protect the ball.
Well, especially just coming off the game last week where that was an issue against Derek Brown and that Auburn defense. They not only got to him, but they were able to knock the football out. Something they really worked on. Talked about, focused on how to protect the ball. A guy just doesn't have a ton of game experience. They think examples like that will actually help him in games like this, the importance of taking care of the football. They turn the ball over tonight, game's over.
Yeah, that's what Dan Mullen keeps emphasizing. Here he is with Maria Taylor.
All right, Coach, you said this is what you coach college football for, games like this, environments like this. So what's the mindset you need your team to take the field with?
This is what it's all about right here. You take a look at this environment, college football, big game, two of the top teams in the country playing. A lot of fun.
What do you have to see from your offense early in this?
We just got to come execute. We got to do a good job communicating, handling the environment, communicate to each other, and really just execute.
And what was your message to your defense as they took the field and want to set the tone early?
Well, I think great challenge. They've heard how great LSU's offense is. That's a great challenge for our guys. You know, all I really want to see out of them is 11 guys running the ball as hard as they can every single week.
All right, thanks for your time, Coach. Now we send it over to Tom Rinaldi, who's with Coach O.
Maria, thanks very much. Coach O, we know about this environment at night, but how do you coach your team to manage their own emotions?
You know, we want them sky high, but we want to win the snap. We want to beat the guys on the line of scrimmage. We don't want anything illegal, want any foolish penalties. We want to have poise, pride, and character.
An inexperienced quarterback playing in Death Valley on a Saturday night. How do you take advantage of that?
Welcome to Death Valley, where opponents' dream come to die.
Good luck, Coach.
Go Tigers.
Chris.
You knew that was coming. Tom, thank you. Coach O is priceless. Saturday night in Death Valley, as we said, no place on earth quite like it. LSU's going to get the football first. Florida won the toss and deferred. So we'll see that prolific pass attack. Joe Burrow and the Bayou Bengals, they've scored points on all of their opening possessions so far this season. Evan McPherson to boot it away. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the running back, standing at the goal line. This will be fun tonight, folks. Wind at his back, the ball driven into the end zone for a touchback. And here comes Joe Burrow. You know, he transferred from Ohio State, backed up J.T. Barrett, lost the job there to Dwayne Haskins. But man, has he emerged this season, Kurt.
Yeah, look at him completing 78% of his passes, 22 touchdowns, only 3 picks. The greatest thing you can say, and we'll see how it goes tonight, the command of the offense, how quickly he processes things, and how he's able to work through his progressions and throw the ball accurately.
2-by-2 with Edwards-Helaire in the backfield. Burrow looked that way and fires across. Catch made by Jamar Chase, who escapes and gets about 9 yards. He's the big, deep threat, and he is dangerous with the football. Here's our Chick-fil-A impact players, and it's tough to choose just a couple of guys in this LSU offense.
It is. Well, you got to look at Jamar Chase right there. On the other side, you'll see Justin Jefferson, too. Zuniga's back. Grenard does a great job. Those two will have to have a big night pressuring the quarterback.
Edwards-Helaire, 5'8", short, stocky and strong, the local guy. They'll move the sticks.
Yeah, nice job. LSU has not run the ball that much this year. They've been so good at throwing the football, but early in this game against that very talented Florida Gator defensive front, controlling things at the point of attack, giving the back, Edwards-Helaire, some room to run.
Empty backfield again. 5 receiver look. Gators rush 4. Burrow gets the ball out quickly, and the catch is made by Jefferson. the other half of that dynamic tandem, but he's spun down by Reese, the linebacker, gained just a yard and a half.
You know, 3 plays, 3 different formations. Steve Insminger upstairs along with Joe Brady looking down and just trying to give Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator from Florida, as many different looks as they can. In the process, trying to create one-on-one matchups to try to find out where Joe Burrow can attack.
Now the Gators are more aggressive defensive posture on 2nd and 9. You know about Todd Grantham, defensive coordinator. Pressure off the edge, Burrow downfield, throw, and the catch is made at the 32 by Jefferson. He is so good under pressure.
Florida brings the blitz from the nickel. Trey Dean right here comes, creates a one-on-one opportunity. Jefferson against Sean Davis, who's a safety. That's the best receiver, maybe one of the tops, not just the SEC, maybe in the country, the first half of the season he's had against the safety.
You got 23. Burrow looking to throw again for the end zone, laying out, broken up beautifully by C.J. Henderson against Jamar Chase. That'll be a good matchup all night.
Yeah, that's the matchup we want to see. C.J. Henderson is an outstanding corner, has great size, great speed. I love that he has his head turned, locates the football. He read the eyes of Chase. Chase looks for the ball, telling Henderson to look up for the ball, and has that closing speed to catch up and knock the ball away.
Little tug on the towel there. No, they'll let him play tonight. 2nd and 10. Burrow checks the sidelines. And design run. It's part of his game. Hasn't had to use it too much. He got about 3 yards there.
Yeah, but he's athletic enough, and when you have a quarterback just mixing that in, it makes a defense have to respect that. It's something you can go back to. But those safeties, linebackers both doing a good job of recognizing that and taking it away to put Burrow here in a 3rd and long.
3rd and 7. They're in fringe field goal range for the freshman Cade York. This is Edwards-Helaire motioning back in. Plenty of time in the play clock. This pre-snap chess match, we'll see it all night, Kurt. Burrow backpedaling. Can he escape? Spins free, running for his life. Stays in bounds, makes a move. Knocked out short of the mark. We're at the 26 by Jeremiah Moon. It's 4th down.
Emory Jones showing blitz. This is Todd Grantham doing a good job of walking up, showing blitz, and instead of coming, dropping. And by dropping, he takes away the underneath route that Burrow wanted to go to, forcing Burrow to pump fake, hold on to it, and then the rest of the Gators can get to him. So Todd Grantham wins that chess match there on 3rd down with the call.
44-yard attempt for Cade York, a freshman from Texas who's 7 of 8 this season. And York, who struggled in warm-ups, missing wide left frequently, does so when it matters. And for the first time this year, LSU comes up empty on the opening possession.
That's a win, obviously, for Florida. Not just that they missed a field goal, but the way the defense, and Todd Grantham right there, veteran who's been around the SEC, this is what we wanted to see. Good against good. Who would win the matchup with Burrow and the receivers and the up-tempo style against the Gators secondary and the way they can pressure the quarterback? Round 1 on the road in this environment. Big stop by Florida.
Sometimes what happens in warm-ups can carry over to the game. So Kyle Trask and the Gators in their first possession from the 25. La'Mical Perine, the senior from Mobile, is the back. They fake it to him. Trask looking to throw downfield, and it's underthrown. Trying to come back for the ball is Trevon Grimes, broken up.
Up that. Dan Mullen said Death Valley at night. Inexperienced quarterback playing on the road. Are we going to ease into this game? No. He puts Kyle Trask in a position to attack downfield. They've got some very talented receivers that can run, and they have height. Grimes is 6'5". They're going down the sidelines against a true freshman in Stingley.
It's a handoff on 2nd and 10. Perine's going to be swarmed and dropped behind the line, but Caleb Chason, the best pass rusher, who's back healthy now off an ankle injury.
Boy, he does a good job. The defense flies around. Chason's on the edge. He's got to set the edge and then work it back to the outside. He comes down, works to the outside. Also, a linebacker scraping around. So this defense well aware that Florida wants to try to bounce things outside, set the edge, force Perine back inside, and right into the teeth and the speed of the Tigers defense.
Loudest end of the stadium where the students are. 3rd and 11. Trask against a 4-man rush, delivers high and incomplete. It was off the hands of Kyle Pitts, the tight end. Jacoby Stevens in coverage, and the Gators go 3 and out.
LSU sitting back, relying on their front to try to get home. Trask had time, actually threw a pretty good ball. And Dan Mullen making things, showing trust, showing confidence in Trask. But the Tigers defense, much like the Gators, do a good job of getting the opposing offense off the field.
There's Derek Stingley Jr., who has been superb in his true freshman season as a cornerback. Called by Dave Aranda, the coordinator, the best player on defense so far. True freshman.
How about that?
Back to receive this punt.
Didn't hesitate. What do you think of Stingley? It's always a little gimpy. Best player first half, not even close.
Tommy Townsend, perhaps unaware of the play clock. It just wound down, and Dan Mullen has to spend a timeout to save the early 5 yards.
All right, so the play clock running out. Timeout. Kicking
So before the punt, we'll take a break. Tiger Stadium. 65 beautiful degrees, about 25 degrees cooler than it has been for the other games this season. Nice night to fly for the Goodyear Blimp, providing aerial coverage, introducing the newest honorary member of the College Football Hall of Fame, the Goodyear Blimp. Goodyear, more driven. You can catch all the details of tonight's game in 4K on DirecTV Channel 107 and on Comcast for the Samsung QLED TV 4K Game of the Week. So Mullen, an aggressive approach to play calling, Kirk, but it results in a 3 and out. And here's Tommy Townsend on the punt. I doubt he'll fake this one. And a fake go wrong against Auburn in the win last week to set up a Auburn touchdown. This is a high and short boot, and Stingley just lets it bounce at the 35. It'll be downed right then. Maria?
Yeah, guys, a big storyline down here for Florida's defense. Jonathan Grenard dealing with, it looks like a high ankle injury. He was pointing to it with the trainers. He went in the tent, and I just saw them add a pad to that high ankle. And I'm told that he's been dealing with this for a couple of weeks, but it happened early on in the very first defensive series. He's been on the sideline since, but he is here now waiting to go in.
And that's one of the top pass rushers in the country so far.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Went back and looked at the first series. He played the first play, got double teamed, backpedaled, and then went off the field the rest of that opening series. So if he cannot come back, huge loss for the Gators.
Just getting Jabari Zuniga, the other pass rush bookend, healthy. And now a busted hole. Edwards-Helaire's in the clear. It's a foot race. And the Gators will finally chase him down inside the 10. An explosive run for the local product.
A good job by the right guard, Damian Lewis. The tight end, Thaddeus Moss, coming through, does a nice job. He'll come through and lead, but watch the block right here by the right guard, 68. Gets his back turned to the hole, opens it up, and that hole just opened up in a big way for the Tigers.
They're playing fast in the red zone. Burrow zips it across the middle. Caught! Touchdown! Jamar Chase! An electric two-play scoring drive. And LSU continues the fast start. Missed a field goal the first possession. Find the end zone. Couple of plays covering 66 yards, and that's the first touchdown the Gators have allowed in the first quarter all year.
Well, the run obviously sets up the touchdown pass for Joe Burrow. They go with a big run, come back the very next play. This is LSU inside the 10-yard line, spread formation. They go with the run-pass option, and it opens up for a nice touchdown.
It's still disorienting, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, LSU will crank the tempo extra fast in the red zone, where they remain perfect for the year. 32 for 32 with now 27 red zone touchdowns.
So 57-yard run, and the very next play, they're going to read Brad Stewart right here, the safety. He's kind of coming up just enough to be able to hit the quick slant right behind him. Watch Joe Burrow's eyes right there, looking all the way and feeling Brad Stewart. Because Stewart was concerned about that run game. It gave him that nice passing lane, one-on-one throw. Chase gets inside of C.J. Henderson. And that's how LSU's offense has operated most of this year. They hit you in a hurry.
Chase, a sophomore, is averaging almost 20 yards a carry. He's #1 in the SEC in receiving yards. Burrow into a tight window, precise. And the Tigers draw first blood, and that'll put a little extra pressure now on Kyle Trask in this Gators offense.
No doubt about it. Just getting started here, but LSU, even on the drive, they weren't able to come away with points, had success moving the ball against that Gator defense.
They had not allowed a play from scrimmage as long as 57 yards, but that's what Edwards-Helaire gained to set up the touchdown pass. Avery Atkins is the kickoff specialist, usually boots it into the end zone, and with that strong leg just drives it halfway through, and it'll be a touchback. So Kyle Trask backed up Derek King, who's with the Houston Cougars and never played as a starter in high school.
Say that again for people that weren't listening.
Never played as a starter in high school.
Never started a game in high school. And he's in Florida tonight, starting quarterback. Says a lot about that perseverance.
Yeah, he impressed as a camp. He really had to earn his way. You see him redshirt, and obviously the way was cleared for him to pick up the starter when Felipe Franks was injured.
Yeah, until he stepped in this year for Frank's last start as a freshman in high school on the JV team. And now here he is in Death Valley playing for the Gators.
LSU, the defense keyed up, leaning forward like they're going to come after Trask. And it was a false start on the edge. That was Pitts, the tight end, huh?
Yep, tight end up top, flexed out as a receiver.
False start. Offense ready for it. Stop the opportunity. First down.
Like all teams, they crank the speakers and practice up to 11, but you can't simulate this, can you?
Now, and sometimes we always worry, how's the quarterback going to handle it, right? And other times it's the offensive line. In this case, the tight end flexed out as a receiver who gets a little excited and flinches a bit and costs him 5 yards.
On 1st and 15, Trask, a long throw to the sidelines, and the catch is made by Tyree Cleveland. It was a good-looking throw.
Yeah, good-looking throw and a great route by Cleveland against Kerry Vincent. This is what Dan Mullen is known for. You see that? Finding the matchup that Kyle Trask can effectively execute. At time, Cleveland ends up beating Kerry Vincent, who's a nickelback in there on the inside slot receiver. And if I'm Dan Mullen, I try to make a living on the inside attacking the Tigers. A tough one against the corners. Try to hit those nickelbacks and those safeties on the inside.
Perine knocked down. It's been a struggle for the Gators running the ball. It's weird for a Dan Mullen offense. 11th in the SEC in yards, also 11th in yards per carry.
Yeah, it's not a typical Dan Mullen offense. That time, Tyler Shelvin, 72, just pushing himself through, making an impact in the middle. Really disrupted the timing, but Perine fortunate to be able to wiggle through there and still get 4 yards.
He's got it again on 2nd down, slams forward and is knocked backwards, but breaks free. Perine bounces out of traffic and into LSU territory.
Well, the LSU team, because of the formation, they are attacking downhill and expecting Perine to get the ball. When you have two tight ends in the game, right there, look at him not giving up on the play. That was Patrick Queen who's able to get to him for a very short game, but he didn't do a good job of wrapping up. Give Perine credit. Look at him fighting for every yard. By the time he gets out of there, he's got some room to actually run and pick up big yards.
The corner, Christian Fulton, a senior from New Orleans, he looked at by the athletic trainers. He's on one knee, and they've had some health issues on this defense. We've got a good squadron of defensive backs. Talked about Stingley, Cordell Flott coming back. He's a guy that has been injured, now healthy for this game. But Fulton, Todd McShay's second-rated cornerback prospect. They've got him as a top 15 prospect in the next draft.
And because of those two true freshmen, they've been able to move him around and take advantage of different set of skills that he has because of his physicality, and also can still cover. I'm going to tell you about La'Mical Perine, one of the most underrated backs in the country. Talk about this offensive line. It's not their strength, This guy very rarely gets a chance to come through clean to get to the second level. He has to do what you just watched. Almost every time he carries the ball, he's getting hit close to the line of scrimmage. So he's dropped some weight. He's quicker. He's powerful. A complete back that Kyle Trask has back there next to him.
88-yard run to seal the deal at the Swamp against Auburn after a frustrating afternoon until that point. And he broke a tackle on that one, too. Trask in the pocket. He has good protection on first down and takes another downfield shot, but it's overthrown. No chance for Pitts to make a play.
Well, Pitts is the big tight end that had a nice game last week against Auburn. 8 catches, 65 yards. He's 6'6". He's more of a receiver than he is a tight end. They flex him out at 6'6", matched up against Stingley, the true freshman, who is as gifted as any corner in the country, but they're trying to take advantage of that 6'6" size one-on-one against the freshman. And that time, good positioning by Stingley, anticipating that ball downfield.
Kirk, another true freshman, Jay Ward, has replaced Fulton at corner, so a very young Tiger secondary.
See,
on 2nd and 10, Trask gets the ball out quickly. It's a slant, was thrown behind his receiver, La'Mical Perine. Came out of the backfield. They'll move the 6 to the 30.
Yeah, Perine, they flexed him out to be able to get him matched up there out on the outside, one-on-one. Against zone, he just quick. The ball gets out quickly. It's against his pass rush. When they turn loose the linebackers, you got to get the ball out of Trask's hands quick. That time, nice job. Nice little wrinkle by Dan Mullen, getting Perine flexed out as a receiver and getting him matched up against Patrick Queen there in space.
A change of quarterback, Kirk. Emory Jones, we knew we'd see him. He's the freshman from LaGrange, Georgia. Not just a situational runner. He's got his helmet. Got to get that thing tightened up, ready for this snap. On a first down play, he's not afraid to sling it. He keeps it. And he breaks a tackle, and a slippery gain of 12 there in the red zone.
Well, different speed. And LSU knew, when we talked to Dave Aranda, there's a chance that Emory Jones may get a chance to get into this game. You can see the acceleration and how much quicker he's able to get off of the tackle. And then right there is able to navigate through and pick up even more yards for that first down. Now, LSU's got to be careful. You don't look at him and think, okay, he's coming in as a wildcat or as a runner. As you said, Chris, he can throw the football, and with him in, it creates more one-on-one opportunities.
Jones is going to run again, and he'll be stopped for a short gain. He played 4 games last year, but they could preserve his redshirt season. But he got in against Georgia and against Michigan in the bowl game, so not his first time against a stout defense.
That's a fair point. He's a veteran guy. Dan Mullen told us this week. He told us on the field before the game. I kind of whispered into his ear with LSU people around. Chance that Jones comes in. He looks at me like, oh, yeah, most definitely, because it makes them have to worry about the quarterback run game and gives us some matchups we can try to win with, as I said, with his arm.
Trask returns on 2nd and 7. Turns and gives it to Perine, who had a stutter step because the hole was clogged, and he'll fight for about 1.5 yards.
And that's your typical run by Perine this year, where, you know, it's a jump cut. The linebacker's already in his face, and he's just trying to get as many yards as he can.
We had the Gators in the opening win over Miami. This offensive line doubted, called the weak link in the team, and they brought a determination into the season to change people's perception, but it's hard to not call them the weak link so far, the way they played this year.
But Dan Mullen told us, especially on 3rd down, he wanted to get the plays in much faster to give Trask and the offensive line time to communicate because of the crowd noise. First time the play clock working down on him quickly.
They need 6. Tigers showing a 3-man rush, and they drop 8 into coverage. Trask has time underneath. Catch made right at the marker by Grimes. And where they're putting the football down should be 1st and goal.
I'll tell you what, that's a nice job by the offensive line. They only rushed 3, but a really good job of Trask being patient in the pocket, waiting and waiting for a receiver to eventually come free, and he finds him.
10th play of this drive, what would be a very effective answer to the visiting Gators.
How do you take a crowd out of the game? Nice 10-play drive. Execute on 3rd down. Come up with some first downs.
Trask under center and a timeout taken. Coach O stalking out on the field, upset with his defense.
First start timeout of the half. LSU.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton. College football stays here. Book now at Hampton.com and in part by Wells Fargo. This is a commitment to better banking. This is Wells Fargo.
Good memories. The 13th visit by Game Day here this morning. Corso did pick LSU along with John Goodman. They reviewed it, but John Bible, the replay official, didn't see enough to change the call. So the challenge by Orgeron doesn't work, and the Gators are set up first and goal at the 9. Would have been 4th down and about a foot. We thought there was maybe enough to re-spot the ball. John Bible didn't see it that way. Perine has to bounce it immediately. Works really hard to gain about 3 yards.
Yeah. Body leaning forward, takes on 3 or 4 Tigers, able to come up with some positive yards. It gets much, much tougher to run against this LSU defense, obviously down inside this area.
Bryden Fehoko, number 91, got quick penetration. A bunch of big, wide bodies for the Tigers on that 3-man front. 2nd and goal. High snap. Trask with the keeper will be stopped at the 5. But boy, does that mess up the timing, Kirk.
Yeah, disrupts the timing. Trask, not really known as a running quarterback to begin with, does his best here to be able to handle the snap, get the ball in there, and then he's just trying to follow Perine and get as many yards as he can. He's able to get just inside the 5-yard line. Somewhat of a conservative approach here in these first 2 play calls by Dan Mullen. I'd look for, again, the matchup on the inside, whether it's a Josh Hammond, Freddie Swain. Look for an inside receiver to try to make a play here against a bigger safety.
And the slots have been very productive for this Gators offense. 3rd down. Trask, play action. Survey, flips it across the middle, back in the end zone. Touchdown to Grimes. And the first time Rouge starter looked cool on that drive, didn't he?
Boy, he sure did. Showed patience this time. Again, give the offensive line a lot of credit. LSU only rushing 3. Grimes working from the outside. Hammond works inside out, and Grimes works from the outside in and gets able to separate and pull away from Christian Fulton for the touchdown. As you said, Chris, a great answer for the Gators on the road.
12 plays. 75 yards, took almost 6.5 minutes.
And you can't hear the crowd.
Nope.
That's the answer.
McPherson ties the game, so LSU scores in electric fashion, just a 2-play touchdown drive. The Gators grind it out methodically, and Kyle Trask, a beautiful throw over the top to Grimes. 7 apiece on the Bayou. Welcome back to this presentation of the SEC on ESPN. Touchdown for Grimes. Boy, Kirk, in a game this intense, it's tough to come right out of the trainer's center. They're checking you for an injury, right into action. And Tom reporting that's what happened to Christian Fulton, the corner who got beat on that play.
Yeah, I think there was a miscommunication. It makes a lot of sense with Tom's report of him being in a tent. He comes running out, and then clearly he was supposed to be in man. He thought it was zone. It opened up the back of the end zone for the touchdown.
Fair catch. Tigers will begin from the 25 as we check in with Matt Berry for an update. See on ABC, Penn State hosting Michigan in the whiteout next Saturday night. Burrow looking to throw on 1st down. It's a slant, and it's caught for a short gain by Stephen Sullivan, one of the athletic tight ends that are really big receivers.
Yeah, 6'5", 242 pounds, a receiver that can go inside or outside, has that kind of flexibility. And again, another example of Joe Burrow. 5 receivers, many cases, ball out fast with 5 offensive linemen protecting him. Surveys the coverage incredibly fast.
Burrow 5 of 6, 47 yards in the touchdown. The chase. 2nd down, they bring some pressure. has to pump fake, circles around, and now will get about a couple of yards there. Finally heat up the pocket for the first time. Reese came.
If you're just tuning in, we were very excited all this week to see John Grenard, their top pass rusher, have a chance to rush, but he's been out most of this game.
Gators make a stop on 3rd and short. They weren't even properly lined up, but Henderson made a nice tackle on Justin Jefferson. It's 4th and 1.
Well, his acceleration, putting his foot in the ground and being ready, Chris, part of the defense when teams go tempo is just getting your cleats in the ground and being ready to react. And that time LSU, they tipped their hand with where they're going to go with the ball. C.J. Henderson not surprised. Some of the other Gators weren't even ready, but he reacted quick enough to keep the Tigers short of that first down.
Zach Von Rosenberg, the 28-year-old former minor league pitcher, is the punter. Brady Swain back deep for the Gators, and the lefty gets a good boot away. Swain waves the hand, makes a fair catch way back at the 16-yard line. Take a look at the Buick drive recap, the scoring play, Kurt.
Yeah, let's go back to the touchdown where Grimes is able to work here and to the back of the end zone. Fulton is here. I think he's expecting help from the inside, but after the ball fake, watch the running back Perine stop right here, and he's occupying this defense. They're worried about Perine. Meanwhile, Fulton expecting that help. He ends up leaving Grimes all alone in the back of the end zone, and I'm sure they're going to go to the sideline and try to work that out. You can see his frustration after the touchdown.
Yeah, the quick 3 and out puts the LSU defense that was out there for a long Florida drive just moments ago right back on the field. It's Malik Davis taking his turn at tailback. Trask from the pocket across the middle, and it's caught by Pitts, and the tight end has been a matchup problem. Had a big game against Auburn, 5 catches.
Yeah, he is a great friend of a quarterback because of his size. Look at Trask handling the snap. The snap is high. We've seen some high snaps, but he's in rhythm. He stays in rhythm by being able to handle that, looks off to safety, works his way back to that matchup with a big fella, Kyle Pitts.
Beat their best cover guy, the freshman Stingley. 23-yard gain. Another high snap, and it's zipped incomplete. Pressuring him very quickly was Fehoko.
Fehoko got a hand on that football, I believe, right at the line of scrimmage. Affected the accuracy of Trask, who, by the way, we wondered how Kyle Trask would handle Death Valley. And early in this game, he seems to be handling it just fine. Fehoko right there just gets his hand up as Grant Delpit is coming up tight there in coverage against Freddie Swain.
They've got 3 backup down linemen in there trying to give the starters a rest after that long drive. 2nd and 10. The backups are still pretty good, by the way, as we saw with Fehoko. Davis just into heavy traffic. It'll be 3rd down and about 10.
Yeah, between the tackles, very, very tough. One thing Dan Mullen told us, he said, you know, we've struggled early in games to run the football effectively, but we've not gone away from it. And Saturday night against the Tigers, we've got to be able to maintain that. We've got to stick with it because in the 4th quarter, that's where we've been able to run the ball better all year long. But it's been a struggle here early, obviously.
5 receivers, empty backfield on 3rd and 9. Final minute of the first quarter. And Trask trying to communicate to the offensive line in this deafening roar. LSU dancing around. They bring some pressure. Trask gets away and has room. And he'll take a shot and be knocked down a yard short of the first down by Grant Delpit, the safety.
Delpit comes off of man coverage. That's what you'd expect from LSU. They've been rushing 3, and it wasn't working by dropping 8. This time, they bring the heat. Look at Delpit do a good job of working off of Kyle Pitts. The recognition goes down low and keeps Trask short for the first down.
Delpit known for his skills as a deep center fielder, but he likes playing closer to the football, and they've increased his role.
That is the end of the first quarter.
So that was a big stop for the Tigers, and the second quarter will begin with a Florida punt from the 49-yard line. A quick scoring drive for LSU, a long march for the Gators. We are 7 apiece in Baton Rouge after 1 quarter. Beginning of the second quarter. We'll see if Dan Mullen feels like making a bold move here. Chose not to go for it on 4th and 1 at midfield. Tommy Townsend A couple of fakes in his career, one of them unsuccessful last week, as we said, and he's just going to try to pin LSU deep. High boot. Stingley comes up, makes a fair catch at the 18-yard line. John Grenard not in the game, not with his helmet on, Maria. That is not a good sign, is it?
Yeah, we saw him earlier. It was a right ankle that he was pointing to after the first series of this game, and he came over to the sidelines, and he was working hard, guys, to see if he could put enough pressure on it to return to this game. He went into the tent. He had his helmet on until about 5 minutes ago when he dropped it, put a towel over his head, and he sat down at the end of the bench. A lot of players have come up. He's been visibly upset. Todd Grantham has stopped and talked to him as they try to keep his head in the game, but he's still been trying to be a leader here for this Florida defense on the side.
Grad transfer from Louisville, Maria, one of the best pass rushers in the country. And you know he's frustrated about that.
Yeah, and a big part of the success of this defense. They said he just has that veteran presence in the room.
Freshman tailback John Emory Jr. in the game. And Zuniga stops him.
You know, while Grenard goes out, Zuniga is the guy now who's been out, now has to step up. Watch him here. Watch the motor he plays with and the ability to fight through and get through that offensive line. I mean, if you're a Florida Gator fan, you like to see the 92 healthy making plays like that.
And second down, Burrow flushed. Tips his hand early that he's going to run, but it doesn't matter because he's got a lot of running room and a first down across the 32.
Yeah, he has offensive linemen up on the right side. He's got receivers. It's like a design quarterback draw that it took some time for him to finally work his way to get away from that Gator defense. And once he did, he had a convoy of linemen out in front of him.
Edwards-Helaire back in the game. They fake it to him, and Burrow over the middle delivers a dart, caught by Jefferson. Justin Jefferson slips a tackle, step out of bounds, back near the Florida 30, I believe.
A great route by Justin Jefferson. He and Joe Burrow have been in sync all year long. They're playing zone. They get behind the linebacker in front of the safety. And McMath, 17, did a nice job of clearing out the zone there to open up and give Justin Jefferson even more room. If they have space, 9 and 2 are going to connect.
Slipped the tackle of Donovan Siner, got 36 yards. Now Burrow looking downfield again, lofts it to the end zone, into double coverage, and a flag comes out as they were covering Jefferson a little too tightly. Steiner involved, as well as Trey Dean.
Yeah, Trey Dean is going to be the culprit. He was pushing Jefferson as he's running the route.
Pass interference. Defense, number 21. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
James Carter, our referee tonight.
Shows you the confidence that Burrow has. He just hit Jefferson. Look at that coverage even before the interference. There's your interference, but look at the coverage by the Gators. And Joe Burrow said, no problem. I can get the ball in. I can get the ball in there to Justin Jefferson. But they catch the break there with the pass interference.
Not short on confidence is Mr. Burrow. And you can't blame him the way he started this season. Tigers back in the red zone, where again they've been perfect this season. And almost perfect scoring touchdowns. Edwards-Helaire shows that leg strength. Sawed-off little guy, but boy, is he strong in the lower body.
Oh, he is. Low center of gravity, does a nice job. You know, you think about Burrow and throwing that pass. How many times do you watch the NFL with guys like Drew Brees and what they do? He's right here in the middle. What they do when they throw the ball, the receiver looks like he's covered.
Burrow pump fakes, scanning the end zone, rolling out, fires a dart, caught. Is it a touchdown? Jefferson was right in the pylon, and he did get in. Not much room. Progressive pylon cam will show whether or not he did break the plane with that football. It was very close, but Burrow again showing that confidence.
And again, fighting through a lot of physicality there by Trey Dean. Progressive pylon cam showing you that's touchdown. Great concentration. Yeah, he's in the end zone for the touchdown. How about Burrow's athletic ability to dip underneath the pressure, scramble to his right, and eventually finds Jefferson being able to pull away for that touchdown.
Official's hat bringing us that view. So the two top receivers, Jamar Chase and now Justin Jefferson, have each caught touchdown passes in the first half. on bullet throws from Joe Burrow, who's got 24 touchdown passes this season.
Yeah, nice job. Look at his eyes downfield. He's scrambling for his life, but he keeps his eyes and his poise downfield. Like I said, he's got accuracy not just from the pocket, but also on the move, able to hit Jefferson for that touchdown.
Talking about this is game 6, Kirk, and an LSU quarterback has 24 touchdown passes. Let that just sink in, folks.
Yeah,
it's for a game.
It's incredible. I mean, every time you watch LSU this year, you continue to just blink and say, is this real? I mean, Joe Brady brought this system in, and Burrow is a perfect fit for what they're doing this year.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
You know, he told us yesterday, last year was more uncomfortable for me because in high school and at Ohio State, I was in a shotgun spread offense. Last year I was under center, 2 back. It was almost like he was playing left-handed. Now they go back to more of a spread attack, and the way he prepares and gets ready for the week, he and Joe Brady are inseparable, and obviously it pays off for him on Saturday nights.
He's 22 years old. Brady is 30. Interesting relationship, and Burrow basically lives in the football complex. He's a graduate, takes all his classes online, and prepares like a pro, and it shows, doesn't it? So Jefferson finds the end zone. Tigers go 82 yards in about 2 minutes and 5 plays, and they reclaim the lead, 14-7. Place is certainly unique and electric, but so is the whiteout at Penn State. Best atmosphere north of the Mason-Dixon line for sure in college football. Nittany Lions and Wolverines next Saturday night on ABC, 7:30 Eastern. Michigan winning against Illinois today. Back and forth game, and Penn State a 7-3 lead at Iowa, approaching halftime on the Hamler touchdown catch that we showed you. Atkins doing what he does, boots the ball deep into the end zone. Back for another studio update. Matt, thank you. As you give that update, they did find the end zone on an end around, so the Irish beginning to separate against USC.
That touchdown has brought the crowd back into this game for the Tigers defense.
Trask with 3 in the play clock. Gives it to Perine, nothing doing. He has to fight and claw and scratch to gain 2 yards. This week's All-State rankings, top 10. And the headline is Georgia lost in double overtime to South Carolina. That Dogs offensive line just eaten alive today.
Yeah, Georgia, very, very surprising. Teams are going to have, those top teams are going to have a game like that. Georgia looked like they might escape. They ended up obviously losing that game in 2 overtimes. Oklahoma, great game against Texas. Their defense stepped up in a big way.
Tyler Shelvin, the nose tackle for LSU, is down. We'll take a timeout.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by General Mills. Bring more to your game day with General Mills tailgate recipes. See what you can create at wearetailgatenation.com.
5th biggest house in college football, 103-321 here in Tiger Stadium. Goodyear providing aerial coverage, recognizing those who strive to rise above the rest. Goodyear, more driven. Gators back to work. 2nd and 8. Once again down by a touchdown. That helped Shelvin to the sidelines. Play action. Trask has some time. Takes a downfield shot, and it's a diving play by Pitts. Athletic tight end went up and got it.
Wow, that's the matchup. Pitts against Delpit. Pitts, who's a great tight end at 6'6". Delpit, one of the best players in college football at 6'3". Loves to be challenged to play man-to-man, but Kyle Trask makes that play. Pretty good coverage by Delpit. Puts it up high where the big fella Pitts can go up and make a play on it. Great throw, Kyle Trask.
26th catch for Pitts. Or 25 committed, 29th now for the season. He leads all Power 5 tight ends in receptions. and his second in all of FBS. From the 45, Trask zips a slant, and it's another catch made right in front of Stingley by Hammond as they get the slot receiver involved.
Florida lost a great quarterback in Felipe Franks, a veteran guy who's played in a lot of games, and everybody wondered how they're going to do with Kyle Trask, who hasn't played a lot of football. He stepped in down 21-10 in the fourth quarter against Kentucky in Lexington, brought them back. He's played very well since then. Dan Mullen deserves a ton of credit, along with Brian Johnson, the quarterback coach, of putting him. He just looks technically so sound, so efficient, and looks confident with his decisions tonight in a very tough environment against an athletic defense.
Sure does. On 2nd and 2, Perine makes a cut, and he'll make first down yardage and more inside the 30. Trask wearing Steve Spurrier's number 11. There is pressure. I don't care if you're a backup to begin this season. You step into this spotlight at Florida, and there's pressure.
Yeah. Oh, of course, especially when you wear that 11. And now we get Emory Jones back into the game. This little wrinkle we saw on a few series earlier, where he can run, he can also throw the football.
Jones carried it twice for 15 yards in his first appearance.
So 4 receivers to the bottom here.
He's a very confident passer. Came from a high school spread offense in Georgia. Unafraid to sling it and not intimidated by this environment. But there was some confusion. There was no one to fake the handoff to. He still battles forward down to the 20. It'll be 2nd and short.
You know, I did that against Auburn, and I think that's more of a timing mechanism. It allows the guard Heggie to get around. It gives Perine a chance to pick up his block there on Jacoby Stevens. And it's a slow developing play, but once the blocks come around to the left side, with his speed, he's able to accelerate, get behind those blocks, and pick up good yardage.
So while he's killing time, just fake a handoff to nobody.
Just kind of like, just float it out there.
That worked, as you said, for 8 yards. Empty backfield now on 2nd and 2. Jones looking to throw over the middle, caught, and the ball comes out. Pitts grabbed it. Out of the end zone, they'll rule incomplete. It was a bang play. But don't think he had it long enough for a catch. It was close.
I love the call, and I love that you get the linebackers coming up concerned about the quarterback's ability to run the football. He's going to run? Nope. Play action. Right there, throw it on a line. He can't float it. He's got to throw it on a line. It's what he does. Now Pitts has got to hold on to the football. Delpit knocks that ball loose with the contact there to the big tight end.
You saw Trask on the sidelines leap. He thought it was a touchdown, but Delpit laid his body on the line. The safety still down on the field as he went down low against Pitts, but did save a touchdown.
He did. That is a big tight end. And he's hit it. Yeah, Trask thought they had it. Emory Jones thought they had it. It's good to see Grant Delpit, more importantly, up and walking off the field.
Tough guy who forgot to put his mouthpiece in and got a busted lip in the game against Utah State.
Todd McShay, 4th overall prospect. And what an impressive young man. We sat down with him yesterday. Just a guy that his smile lights up the room. Just a guy you pull for.
The PlayStation Player Impact ranking, highest rated safety in the SEC, a 97 rating. For the moment, he is out, and it's 3rd and 2. The Gators have struggled mightily on 3rd and short. One of the worst teams in the country in this situation.
You got Emory Jones back there, which makes it feel a little different.
4 receivers to the left. Jones is running all the way, and he is, with that quickness, going to gain first down yardage. It was predictable, but his speed earned him the first down.
Watch Shelvin. He is 340 pounds right here. He gets a push. Actually, I think he may have got his hands on it. Yeah, he did. But the speed and also the power there of Jones pulls out of the grasp of Shelvin. 346 pounds. He's had an impact there in the middle tonight for that LSU defense.
One of the guys who's really battled his weight and getting down under 350, but it took some hard work and some dieting, which they've emphasized here at LSU.
Trask back in.
First down from the red zone. Trask's got it, zips it across the middle, broken up and almost intercepted. It was deflected by Jacoby Stevens. And then
Yeah,
in the air.
Jacoby Stevens is sitting back here, just kind of waiting and feeling Pitts, seeing what he might do. Also, Kroll goes to the outside, but his instincts tell him, hey, they're throwing the ball a lot to 84. He jumped it just in time to get his hand in there cleanly and knock that ball away. No pass interference, and as you said, Chris, Tigers almost with a pick.
Yeah, Cameron Lewis just unable to react quickly enough to the deflection. And Delpit is back in the game on 2nd and 10. That's good news. Play action, Trask from the pocket takes off, has yardage, lowers the shoulder, shows some toughness. That'll impress teammates. Delpit stopped him, but it's 1st and goal.
Yeah, he wanted to throw the ball back to the boundary to Van Jefferson, but Queen, the middle linebacker, 8, did a good job of taking that away. It was covered, so instead of giving up on it, just throwing it away, again, the athletic ability to pick up some big yards, and he picks up a 1st down.
How about the stutter step? Then he threw his shoulder into Delpit.
Yeah. Kid has been impressive tonight.
Looking to throw. Has plenty of time, now rolls out, cuts back into heavy traffic. Another big collision. That time he stopped short. He's not flinching.
No, he's 240 pounds. I thought he might try to go a little earlier and go off to the right. You know, he sat in his pocket tonight and had some success throwing the ball. Again, they're only rushing 3. It's a tight windows with 8 in coverage, but he lowers that shoulder and tries to run like he's a fullback.
On 2nd and goal, Perine picks his way, not going to get there. Slung down nicely by Damone Clark, middle linebacker.
Yeah, the defensive line did their job there of eating up those offensive linemen and freeing up Clark, 35, to be able to get downhill quick enough to keep him short of the goal line. Those big bodies doing their job down there. Free the linebackers, let them attack downhill.
Jones back in the game as they try to get the final 2 yards in this drive. Tigers have been so tough in situations like this all season.
Yeah, 6 different Tiger defenders run onto the field. Probably get Jones on the edge.
Perine to his left.
There he goes.
Straight run. Knocked down short.
How about rallying to the football? Setting the edge on the outside with Delpit right here. He's going to set that edge, and then you'll see these linebackers being able to come in and help clean it up. Delpit's got to stay outside of Perine. He does. A little bit of penetration there on the inside by Farrell, and it's those linebackers coming downhill to make the play.
Divinity just lowered the shoulder, and Mullins' offense on the field. Ball inside the 1 on 4th down. 3 tight ends in the game. Jones still at quarterback. It's really loud. The LSU student section's in that end, and they are on their feet and roaring. So Emory Jones, redshirt freshman, crucial play coming up after this timeout. Could be one of the defining moments of the football game. Florida had 1st and goal at the 4. 3 plays, net 3 yards. Now it's 4th down from the 1.
Before we went to the break, Emory Jones has been out there and had a chance to be a ability to run or throw. They're going to keep him out there. Ball at the half-yard line.
Perine is the back. 3 tight ends in for the Gators.
Loudest part of the stadium right here.
Jones looking to throw, lofts into the end zone, jump ball, caught, touchdown off the carom by Perine. You need a little luck sometimes in Death Valley when you're the visitors.
How about the throw? Justin Thomas actually has Emory Jones. They didn't fall for it. Watch him right here. He's able to get off of the block and get into the backfield. They slip Perine out into the flat. Look at Jones working. He's falling back a fadeaway. He's got 2 receivers out there in Pitts and Perine. Against 1 defender, he puts it up, hoping that somebody makes a play. Queen actually got his hands on the ball.
I think Perine ripped it out of his hands.
Yeah, it goes up in the air, and Perine comes down with it. So terrific effort by Emory Jones to put it up give his players a chance to make a play.
And both Gator quarterbacks have been outstanding. There have been 2 75-yard touchdown drives for the Gators. 12 plays, then 13 plays, and this game even again at 14. What a play. Perine with a touchdown catch after playing DB on any other down from the 1-yard line. You don't make that decision if you're Emory Jones, but at 4th down you figure, what the heck, we got to try to make a play. He did have 2 guys out there, and number 2 came down with it. Edwards-Helaire from the 5. Guard straight up the middle, and it's knocked down at the 24. To Matt Berry.
Thought he'd just throw that in there. Arizona State with a big win.
Utes quietly having a good year. So each time the Tigers have gone up by a touchdown, the Gators have answered with a methodical drive. Now Burrow back to work doing what they do. Slings it to Thaddeus Moss, the tight end, gets 5.
Joe was telling us yesterday with this offense and how they attack. You know, if you're going to sit back and try to keep everything in front, it's kind of an extension of a running game. They're going to get the ball out quickly and just throw that all day. And once you come up, that's when they're going to take their shots downfield.
Yeah, they haven't done that yet. The 9 completions for just 96 yards, but the 2 touchdowns. And this is Edwards-Helaire. Lowers the shoulder. Physical run. 1st down across the 35.
Gators have done a pretty good job of defending Burrow, and the other thing, maybe the best defense tonight, those 2 75-yard drives, keeping Joe Burrow and that offense on the sideline.
And then ultimately quieting the crowd. Burrow, another throw on 1st down, and it's caught. And it's Thaddeus Moss working free, stiff arm. Is dragged down by Sean Davis in Florida territory.
What I love to watch with Joe Burrow is just to watch his mind work. Watch him drop back and work through progressions. He's looking underneath, goes to the next level, sees the matchup there with Moss matched up against the safety Davis, throws the ball accurately and in rhythm. Another 1st down.
At 25 yards, Moss fired up. He's from Charlotte. First time his dad has ever had a chance to see him play in person at LSU. So you know he wants to put on a good show. Burrow 10 of 11 now. Edwards-Helaire, big crease, busted to the open, down the sidelines, touchdown, Tigers.
Sometimes when Burrow in the passing game doesn't do anything, they still affect the play, Chris. Ventrell Miller, the linebacker, watch how slow he is, worried about play action pass to Phil. Waiting. By the time he reacts, the back here, Edwards-Helaire is gone. So they have prepped all week on he's going to fake the Edwards-Helaire and throw right behind you. So they're very hesitant to come up, and that creates great running lanes at the 2nd level for Edwards-Helaire in this running game.
Brad Stewart, the safety, got knocked down. 39-yard touchdown run. What you said is a great point. This is an LSU offense, but the defense is thinking it's 1st down. They're going to throw, right? And they got tricked.
Yeah, and the other thing is the offensive line from LSU controlling things, whether it's pass protection or opening up holes for Edwards-Helaire. We have an interesting game starting to settle in
back
here.
On top. The always crazy LSU student section. Taco Bell celebrating student sections by awarding the Liv Moss Student Section of the Year. LSU, of course, on the watch list. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. Use the hashtag Liv Moss Student Section Contest. I think the LSU Tigers are driving a Lamborghini. They're just racing down the field. Then Florida gets on a big diesel truck, and they're just grinding their way to 2 touchdown drives. And now they have to try to answer again, Kirk. Kickoff Week 6, NFL Sunday with the Countdown crew on ESPN and the ESPN app, 10 o'clock Eastern. And all the early breaking stories, the injury updates, and preview the games right up to kickoff. Cap off week 6 of the NFL's 50th season of Monday Night Football on ESPN Deportes on the app. The Lions and the Packers kick off news coverage at 6 o'clock.
If there's any surprise tonight, it's that LSU is running the football. You know, Edwards-Helaire, 121 yards already. They have 21 plays, 10 runs, and 11 passes. So much more balanced than they've been coming into tonight, where it's been mostly about Burrow and the receivers in the pass game.
At 266 total yards. They're approaching what Florida has been averaging giving up in the game. Trask, look at a throw, downfield shot on first down into traffic, and it's broken up by Christian Fulton, trying to find Van Jefferson, get him involved finally.
Yeah, trying to find these receivers matched up. A favorable matchup. Fulton has some experience. He's played a lot. We've seen Flott, who's stepped in there from time to time, opposite of Stingley. LSU concerned more about the inside of that defense in coverage against Trask, whether it's been Pitts or those inside receivers or even Perine coming out of the backfield.
Dan Mullen has not hesitated to let Trask take downfield shot after downfield shot.
Confidence in the way he's executing right now.
It's a second down run by Perine. He'll struggle forward for about 4. 3rd and 6 coming up.
Chris, that's a great point. I don't think Dan Mullen, when we wondered all week, would he look down at that play sheet like he's doing right there and say, no, I don't think he can handle that one. No, I don't think he can handle that one. I don't think anything at this point is holding him back with his confidence in number 11.
But they need 6 to keep the drive alive and keep Burrow off the field. 5 receivers, empty backfield, plenty of time on the clock.
Here's the matchup.
There's Pitts in the slot. Trask was looking that direction, tries to find it to him, and draws a flag.
That's a matchup all day you got to take. LSU usually would have Delpit man-to-man against a big tight end. Instead, it's Jacoby Stevens who gets called for the interference. And like I looked down and saw that matchup, I know Kyle Trask saw the same thing.
Interference, defense, number 3, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You're right. That's the first penalty bill. His eyes went right.
Yeah. As soon as he saw that, he kind of stepped up and made the check, because this is the matchup. They want to get 3 matched up against anybody. He's more of a physical thumper type of safety than he is one-on-one in space, especially against the tight end in Pitts.
Only 3 penalties, no turnovers, no sacks yet in this first half. And it really hasn't been the nasty, chippy affair that both teams led us to believe we might be in store for.
I think both coaches kind of dropped the gauntlet on some of that leading up into the game. They didn't want to have anything to kind of take away from this game.
Really fascinating as you see Orgeron hoping his defense would step up tonight, but it's been 2 different quarterbacks for Florida. Dan Mullen working that masterfully, and then Burrow and the LSU offense just doing what they've done all year, basically.
Yeah, and I think you got to give both coaching staffs a lot of credit, because Joe Burrow is doing what they've done with the exception of running the ball more. And then for Dan Mullen to come into this environment and not hesitate at all, not just with Trask, but also bringing in Emory Jones and kind of throwing havoc into the wind, taking a few chances and playing aggressively, which is what players feed off. They like that confidence the coach shows in them.
First down. Gators trying to get even before halftime. 3:03. They've got all their timeouts. Trask from the pocket, hit as he throws. Dangerous throw, and it's broken up. Delpit came flying across from the center field position, had a chance to make a pick. Phillips pressured him.
This is why everybody loves Delpit. Watch the range. He can play up tight and play man-to-man, or watch him anticipate the throw and then the speed. Now, he doesn't come up with the interception, but as Trask gets hit, can't really follow through, Delpit is in great position to go up and make a play on the ball and come up with that interception, just unable to hold on to it.
That's the biggest hit they've had tonight on Trask. Yep. Jacob Phillips from Nashville, Tennessee. Davis is the back. They fake it to him, and wide open. Pitts running free, and the tight end continues to be a weapon. They're threatening inside the 40.
I've been waiting for this call because they did it earlier, and he missed it. And I thought, okay, eventually they're going to go because this right here. LSU's not respecting that play fake. Immediately they're attacking upfield. Dan Mullen's been kind of setting that play up, giving the ball, and then this time they sneak the tight end behind those aggressive safeties and linebackers, and Pitts picks up good yardage.
Sophomore from Eastern Pennsylvania, 3 catches tonight. And running into traffic. They're patient with this running game. They think they can bust one late. That's what happened against Auburn.
And the chess match between Dave Aranda and what we're seeing with Dan Mullen is very obvious. This is one earlier that I'm sure upstairs they saw, and it sets up. So they're thinking, okay, we didn't get it this time, but let's come back to that a little bit later. That was about 2 series ago. Dan Mullen put a little check mark by that one and waited for the right time to call it.
Second and 6. Trask across the middle again targeting Pitts, who makes a nice hands catch down in the red zone. He beats Stingley.
This guy last week against Auburn, he was the guy, right? Trask knows he's coming back to him. He moves the safeties with his eyes. Hands get underneath the ball as it gets near the surface. But Pitts is a matchup problem because he's bigger than a corner and he's faster than a safety or a linebacker.
Jones back in the game. Perine motions out. It's a straight run. And you're seeing shades of Chris Leak and Tim Tebow. When Mullen was the offensive coordinator for Urban Meyer, they kind of rotated within the game, playing different roles.
It feels like that. You're right. Now, we're under a minute. He's got 1 timeout remaining. So while he's shuffling these quarterbacks in with his headset's kind of off, he's got to also be aware of the time in that 1 timeout.
Spur used to shuttle quarterbacks in and out every play out of necessity.
Trask got to pick it up here a little bit.
Moving around. It's inside of 30 seconds. Trask takes off. Last minute flips it short there to Jefferson. He gets out of bounds with 22 seconds left. Third down.
He missed it, and his eyes were looking back to the middle of the field. He had Cleveland as he starts to scramble and work his way to the right. Look in the back corner of the end zone. Right back here. He ends up throwing it short, but if he would have been able to recognize Cleveland broke away, he had a touchdown.
They need a yard, and it's been tough all season for the Gators in these situations. Trask still in the game. It's a straight run. Doesn't have quite the speed, the get off of Jones, but good enough to get a first and goal.
Tempo here. You got to fire it into the ground. You got the 1 timeout. Trask is okay. He's ready to get back up. He understands now. You either got to call the play or just fire it into the ground and kill the clock. They got to just kill the clock.
They move the 6, and then the clock is wound, and he fires it now with 9 seconds. They have that 1 timeout holding on to.
He's holding on to that.
Describe the challenge, though, for quarterbacks, rotating within a drive. Now you find yourself down in the red zone. You've been in, you've been out.
Yeah, it is tough because most quarterbacks play within a rhythm and within an offense. And I think Trask, though, is not letting anything, whether it's the defense, the crowd, Jones coming in. He has been very, very dialed in on the execution. He's got to get the ball out of his hands quickly once he finds that matchup that he has. There's Pitts one-on-one at the top against Fulton.
Trask looking to his left, zips it short into heavy traffic, caught for a touchdown by Van Jefferson. Another long, impressive drive by this Gators offense.
Well, his father's probably watching if he's not here. Sean Jefferson, who played in the NFL, now a coach in the NFL. And look at the technique by Van and then the hands by Van. This is why you practice the jugs and you work and work and work. Little pull there, but it didn't matter. Jefferson, a great route, and I love this part. Extending, using those hands, and getting into the end zone. Perfection.
known for running excellent routes. Of course, as you said, schooled by his dad, transferred from Ole Miss, and talked about how precious it was to spend time with his dad when he goes home to work on just stuff like that.
That's right. How about the throw by Trask, by the way, away from the defender, down low, where Van Jefferson can make a play on the football.
Tied for the third time, 4 seconds before halftime. We check in with Matt Berry. Irish, by the way, continue to lead 21-3 over USC in a low-scoring affair and a blustery night in Iowa City. 7-6 Nittany Lions. 3 75-yard touchdown drives. That was quicker. They didn't have the time to work with, but Orgeron's defense, they expected to be able to slow this Gator offense a lot better than they have so far.
Remember, he said, what do you think you're going to have to score? He said maybe 40. And you're like, wow, expecting a close game. He didn't really say, well, we're going to give up that many. But he did kind of tip his hand that this game could potentially go back and forth.
Yeah, I asked Mullen, and I always do, what do you expect? He wasn't really sure. He thought there was a real chance it could be one of those low-scoring games. But these guys were prepared for a shootout. And there's a short kickoff and a fair catch made with those 4 seconds left by Carter. Figured to get a kneel down here, and it'll be a very entertaining final 30 minutes. See which two of these teams can remain unbeaten. Penn State unbeaten as the Wolverines come calling, unbeaten for now. We talked about the game in Iowa next Saturday night on ABC. The whiteout begins at 7:30 Eastern time. Pretty even first half. LSU with 266 in total offense. The Gators with 246. Both teams have been pretty balanced. And we will go to the locker room, deadlocked at 21. Back to the studio now, the Mercedes-Benz halftime report.
Introduce you to my kinfolk, to my old friends, to the house in the pines where the road is.
Burrow zips it across the middle, caught, touchdown, Jamar Chase. Play action, flips it across the middle, back in the end zone, touchdown to Grimes. Burrow fires a dart, caught. Jefferson was right in the pylon, and he did get in. Jones looking to throw, lofts into the end zone, jump ball, caught, touchdown off the carom by Perine. Big crease, busted to the open, down the sidelines, touchdown Tigers. Looking to his left, zips it short in heavy traffic, caught for a touchdown by Van Jefferson. And welcome back. College football primetime presented by Hampton by Hilton. Exciting first half, almost 500 yards in total offense, a little more than that actually. 6 touchdowns, LSU scoring quickly, Florida being methodical. Can we save the season?
I mean, everything you really could hope for in the first half. Florida has shown a lot of guts coming into this environment, playing very well with the way he's been able to manage both the quarterbacks. By the way, when they've gotten into the red zone, they produced. 3 times they've been down there, 3 touchdowns by using Trask and also Emory Jones. It's going to be a heck of a second half.
Trask 11 for 18. There's 2 touchdown passes. Jones with a 1 touchdown pass to Perine. See what LSU does to adjust on defense. It's Trask to begin the third quarter, and he's looking to throw. Near sideline, coming back to make the catch is Jefferson as he beat Derek Stingley Jr. Tom?
Chris, talking to Ed Orgeron coming out for the second half, he said the number 1 adjustment they need to make defensively, and he repeated it 3 times in a row. Stop 84, stop 84, stop 84. He's killing us. He also said we need to get some push on the front four to put some pressure on both of these quarterbacks and find ways to get off the field on third down. We can't continue to give up these long drives that are gassing the defense. His last comment, but how about our offense?
Trask looking to throw again, Tom, and went very similar route. Once again, Jefferson comes back and beats Stingley.
Yeah, they come right back to that matchup with Van Jefferson to the boundary, going right after the strength of the LSU defense. Stingley, Dave Aranda says he's been the best player on this defense. He looks and turns. By the time he turns for the football, it's another back shoulder fade, which he does not have time to adjust to. So 2 first down throws to start this second half by Dan Mullen with Kyle Trask.
They get 37 yards in those 2 plays, and now Perine sidesteps through traffic. And Stingley, the guy they're picking on there, all-world recruit. Some said the top recruit in the last recruiting class, came in ready to play as a true freshman in this league. And we've not seen teams kind of go after him until tonight like this.
No, I mean, they leave him on an island. He doesn't have a lot of help. I mean, they trust him. Young man just turned 18 recently, so he's a young guy but plays as a veteran.
Trask zips it again. Once again, it's Jefferson beating Stingley. You know, opposing quarterbacks, when they target that DB, we're 10 of 27 coming in.
Right. Watch him turn Stingley's shoulders. Boom, it's over. Great route. We keep going back to Van Jefferson. Well schooled by his dad, Sean Jefferson. Pushes that to the outside. After he beat him twice, by the way, right? Downfield to start the second half. He's gotten by him. So Stingley quick to turn out of there. Then he cuts back on that quick slant.
On that same island to the left of the formation. High snap. Perine. It's a reverse. End around. And Hammond fighting. Quan spinning for a first down before Stevens stopped him. So a little wrinkle.
Yeah, the wrinkle, and it put Chase on in a tough spot because he's either going to take Trask out, who they wanted to throw the ball to, and if he takes Trask out, then he's going to allow the running of Hammond. So it's either take Hammond, and he's going to throw it over your head, or take the quarterback, and that way Florida's able to win no matter what Chason does.
See if they can stay perfect in the red zone and take the lead for the first time tonight. It's Grimes in motion. Perine cuts it back and fights to the 6.
Florida just coming right after this LSU defense.
Florida's had the football a lot longer, as Tom mentioned, trying to soften up this LSU defense. The next snap is going to be the 50th. LSU's run 22 plays tonight.
Came in here wondering how LSU and their offense would attack the Gators defense and how tired Florida's defense might get, but instead it's the LSU defense with their hands on their hips.
Perine very deep at tailback in this 2nd and 5 play. It's an option look. He's got it on the edge, and he's going to be spun out at the 2. There was a reason why he lined up so deep.
Yeah, just to continue to try to give Trask different ways to attack. You know, and again, it's going against the grain a little bit with Trask in there. He's not as mobile or as athletic, but still Dan Mullen trusting him to be able to execute the offense. He didn't quite attack that downhill the way you'd like to see an option quarterback, but he did give him a chance with his speed to at least get to the corner to set up 3rd and 1.
Trask pumps, delivers, touchdown, Jefferson. It was 11 to 12 throughout the drive. Jefferson hit hard after he caught it, but 4 catches on the drive, and the Gators are on top.
Yeah, a big hit there by Divinity after the catch as he was going down. Van Jefferson, a great drive. Watch Trask pump fake. Thought he might go to the outside, but instead he has the option to come back to the inside, and there's the big hit there by the linebacker, 45.
Yeah, Jefferson turning his back with the 240-pounder. Boom, just trying to dislodge the football. Clean play in your view?
I think it looked clean. It looked obviously really physical. Look, see, he's showing fade. He shows fade. He caught Trask off guard. He almost threw the fade, and then he went back to the inside because of the leverage of the defensive back. So he has the option there to go to the corner on the fade or cut it back underneath on the slant. Trask pump fakes and then goes back as he's able to work back. Jefferson works back in.
Looks like Divinity Kirk, who delivered the shot, feeling some pain as well. And the Gators have driven 75 yards for a touchdown 4 times tonight. Wow. They are on top for the first time. And Jefferson, who wasn't a big part of the attack in the first half, basically just took over and took the young freshman Stingley, the super talented corner, to school in that drive.
Yeah, Jefferson, one thing about Florida is they've got some veterans at receiver. One week it may be Jefferson, the next it may be Cleveland, could be Grimes, could be Hammond, could be Swain. Tonight we've seen Jefferson and also Pitts, of course, getting the most opportunities.
Looks like Van's okay. All 4 receptions on the drive, totaling 51 yards and the go-ahead touchdown. And now it's LSU and this prolific pass offense of Joe Burrow, which, by the way, averaged 12 yards per play in the first half. They have to now answer for the first time from behind. How would he handle it? How's the look in the eye be, Kirk? We were all wondering. Dan Mullen was wondering.
You know what the look in the eye is? Confident. I mean, he is feeling good right now against this LSU defense and the way his receivers are playing for him.
Talking about a guy, as we see Burrow, who waited and waited and waited for his chance. Starts against Auburn. First half is knocked out of the game. It's a medial collateral ligament, which is on the inside of the left knee. It's a very strong, very elastic ligament, but it is associated with a lot of pain. There's a lot of nerve endings around that ligament. He fought through the pain, came back, won a lot of credibility in the locker room by playing well in the second half, and it is carried over tonight.
Yeah, he's a different guy.
Gators are in front in Tiger Stadium, 28-21, early third. College Football Primetime is brought to you by Hampton by Hilton. With more than 2,500 locations, you can follow your team anywhere. And watching the SEC on ESPN, and Tiger Stadium has gone quiet. 3 different times the Florida Gators have come from a touchdown behind, and now for the first time they have the lead. Taking the second half kickoff, 75 yards in 8 plays. And let's go to Tom Rinaldi on that LSU sideline. Some concern for their talented freshman corner, Tom.
Derek Stingley coming off the medical staff, bringing him right to the bench, Chris, taking his helmet away and asking him to do some of the things we've described. Follow the fingertips of the training staff, making certain that his reaction time and his level of alertness is what it should be. Again, he's now holding his helmet, not back in the game. We'll see if he comes back in. Remember, this is the player Dave Aranda referred to as the best player for LSU on defense, the remarkably talented freshman who just really was taken advantage of on that last drive, guys.
Yeah, Jefferson picked on him, and now first down handoff, and Edwards-Helaire is trapped behind the line by Zuniga.
Well, Dan Mullen walked off the field and talked to Maria Taylor about we've got to stop their running game. You know, it's one thing to try to stop Burrow and the receivers in this attack, but Edwards-Helaire ended up having over 100 yards in the first half. That was a good effort there to start the second half by Zuniga.
You lose too. A rare first down run for this Tigers offense tonight. Burrow has plenty of time, and now will scramble, and plenty of open space. And he's got a first down, scoots out of bounds across the 40.
Well, when you're aware of the receivers, you got 5 receivers that are going to go out. Watch the linebackers right away. They're not thinking about Joe Burrow. Look, they're dialing up those routes that come underneath, right? Problem is Joe Burrow's athletic. There's nobody left there to pick him up because everybody's head's on a swivel trying to find a crossing route. Nobody accounts for Burrow. Nice job of recognizing that, picking up yards.
Got 19 that time. He's run for now 12 first downs this season and a couple of touchdowns. So strategic use of the scramble by this high-power passing offense. Burrow zips a short pass. It's caught. Chase breaks a tackle and spins out another first down inside the Gator 45.
Jamar Chase, along with Justin Jefferson, his 2 go-to targets. And they like to get the ball. You give them enough of a cushion, they're going to make you pay for that. And then the yards after the catch against the talented C.J. Henderson, who's not able to come up with a tackle there in space.
Another guy's playing hurt. C.J. told me he's still getting treatment for that ankle. Not 100%, but this is the kind of game that you go out there anyway. So quickly 3 plays, and the Tigers are threatening to get even. And Burrow, another short pass. Jefferson makes a man miss. It's a nice first down gain of 5.
Yeah, see, again, that's just an extension in this offense for LSU of their running game. They get the ball out of the shotgun. They'd get 4 or 5 receivers out. If you're sitting back worried about the vertical pass game, they're going to throw it underneath and pick up 5 quick yards.
And now they zip it again as Florida with the tempo offense wasn't really set on defense, and Chase has another first down.
Yeah, that's the run pass option. Brad Stewart came up because he's worried about the running game of Edwards-Helaire, and he throws it right behind him as he tries to fill that gap in that hole.
Burrow just 1 incompletion tonight, 13 of 14, and he's made 10 in a row. Another injury to a Gator player. That's Sean Davis. We'll take a break.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Mazda. Feel alive. And Burger King. Try the all-new Impossible Whopper. Made from plants and now available nationwide.
It's the best way to arrive, Kirk, to beat the pregame traffic around here. The Para Commandos with the Special Operations Command. Part of the pregame ceremony tonight.
First down.
It is a first down for the Tigers after the timeout. Edwards-Helaire is the back. Bunch formation to the right. And Burrow steps back, has plenty of time to survey the field, and now just checks it down and flips it to Justin Jefferson. It's all about the Jeffersons for both receiving cores.
Well, first of all, great job of giving Joe Burrow time, but I love to watch Justin Jefferson here adjust, improvise, and instead of going downfield, work his way back to his quarterback, seeing that he needed some help, got away from the defender and picks up huge yards.
Edwards-Helaire, they slammed him right at the line of scrimmage. That was Reese coming up and making the play as the Tigers are back in the red zone again, where again they've been perfect on the season and almost perfect when it comes to scoring touchdowns.
Speaking of almost perfect, Joe Burrow now 14 of 15 on the night, 11 straight completions.
Gators came charging across trying to get the Tigers to flinch, and a flag does drop. It's a big call here.
Offside. Defense, number 92, in the neutral zone, causing the offensive player to react. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Zuniga, only the 3rd penalty on Florida, 4th overall, but it's going to move the ball to the 5-yard line.
LSU been down in the red zone. Both these teams having success tonight in the red zone. LSU's been down here twice, coming away so far with 2 touchdowns.
The other touchdown came in a long run by Edwards-Helaire, who is to the left of Burrow. Pre-snap chess match and lots of time for both sides to try to get in the perfect scheme. Edwards-Helaire sidestep traffic. Look at him drive and muscle into the end zone. Touchdown Tigers.
Man, he has such great lateral quickness. The jump cut to be able to bounce this. There's actually penetration here inside right there. That's where the hole is designed. But you see how quick he gets outside? And then the physicality. I thought the ball almost came loose there, but low center of gravity, quickness, power, balance, everything you're looking for in a great back. More and more NFL backs are built like Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, he's been great bouncing off contact, gaining yards. Also can be slippery. He's a pretty good receiver as well.
Number 7, those penalties offset. That's the first unsportsmanlike conduct foul for each player who will now have to try.
Yeah, Moon and Moss and Ingram getting into it there. So unsportsmanlike conduct penalties after the touchdown. And as James Carter said, if it happens again to either one, they'll be ejected. So Cade York to tie the game for a 4th time tonight. We have had a whole bunch of long touchdown marches, Kirk. Low snap is handled nicely by Zach Van Rosenberg. Totally unlike the Florida Auburn game where it was quick 1 or 2 play touchdown drives. 28 apiece, the second for number 22. Watching college football primetime presented by Hampton by Hilton. The crowd has been raucous at times, but they've been nervous because the Tigers have not been able to gain any separation of the Gators, and for the first time they had to fight from behind. 8-play touchdown drive to get us back to 28 apiece. Ball blowing off the tee. The wind is kicking up a little bit. Flags at the top of the stadium say that it's blowing right to left, but it may be the other direction, field level. Avery Atkins, he didn't care which way the wind's blowing. He usually just hammers that ball through the end zone. And does so again. Kickoff returns becoming a decreasing part of college football. To Matt Berry with an update. We'll keep you posted on that one. In the meantime, the Gators once again back to work from the 25. That's the same starting position in all of their touchdown drives. Trask pressured, gets it out. Perine in the flat, flag down as Perine is scooting down the sidelines, and he'll be knocked down in LSU territory. The flag was right where the quarterback was being harassed.
I think you're going to get a hold on the left tackle, Forsyth.
Jason applied some pressure around the edge. Gators offensive line, which was been criticized, really played pretty well tonight. They've kept the quarterback clean. They haven't had a sack by either team, but the hold will back them up.
The left tackle 72 with Chase on speed around the edge. He has decent position, but right there just grabs the jersey to keep him off of the quarterback. And a big first down play for the Gators comes back.
And a 27-yard gain negated. Jason really their one elite pass rusher. And Coach L was saying, I'm going to fix it in recruiting. He's used to having 3 or 4 guys who can get after the passer down here. Jason really happy to have him back healthy. Under center, it's a handoff on first and very long, and Perine's going to be swarmed by Patrick Queen.
Yeah, nice job by both Queen and also the safety Delpit. 7 getting up there, attacking this line of scrimmage. And you know, Florida, one thing we've not talked about is they've been executing so well is they've not been behind the chains.
No.
They've been kind of playing on their terms. It's only the 4th penalty of the night, but now it's 2nd and long.
LSU defenders asking this big crowd for more noise. And the crowd responding. And Trask, pressure, gets it out. Fluttering ball falls incomplete. He had a free runner on the quarterback that time.
Yeah, I think Glenn Logan, 97, got a hand on that football. Dave Aranda's been sitting back much of the night, rushing 3, dropping 8. See, right there, 97. Logan gets his hands on it. You know, he's been cranking up the pressure here on this series. Let's see what they do here on 3rd and long. Trask wants to be very, very careful here.
Yeah, they need 19. Got to get all the way to the 35.
Something simple here.
Four-man rush. Trask still harassed and sacked. The first sack of the night, and it's Micah Brooks.
Marcel Brooks from the outside works back to the inside. So instead of blitzing, it's a stunt up front with that defensive line. Trask, we just said, 3rd and forever, deep in your own territory. You want to be very careful. And Aranda dials up that stunt up front, and Brooks is able to get home.
Marcel Brooks, a true freshman, one of the guys that sort of has earned a bigger role in this game.
Talked about pass rushers.
Yeah.
There's a young one right there.
Lean one. So now Stingley was okay, and a flag is down before the punt. Stingley, as Tom reported, was being examined by the athletic trainer staff, concussion protocol.
Game. Kicking team. Half the distance. Remains 4th down.
So he passed the test, and he's out there, and the Tigers are going to be set up in excellent field position. Now the punt's going to come from the very back of the end zone. The penalty is going to move the ball to the 4.
I don't know, not a lot of urgency there by the punt team. from Florida. Just a lack of awareness of the play clock. Even with that shift, even before they shifted, play clock was already out.
4th and 31. Low snap. Townsend gets it away. It's a pretty good boot. And Stingley retreats. Makes a diving fair catch at the 48. That was a high boot, almost 5 seconds of hang time.
It's been a little bit of a different attack for LSU tonight. It's been a little bit more balanced where they're running the ball. But I think as this game goes on, it becomes more and more about Joe Burrow, the condensed formation, finding that matchup and being able to sneak those receivers behind the linebackers into that space in front of the safeties. He's been able to do that tonight to Justin Jefferson. It's, again, the offense that comes from the Saints, again, trying to find a matchup. He got the big tight end Moss, one-on-one in space again. So he's only missed one pass on the night.
Ty Davis-Price, a true freshman from here in Baton Rouge, gets his first carry of the night, but gains nothing. Zuniga knocked him down.
Pivotal point in this football game for both these teams.
Going to fresh legs at tailback.
Yeah, and great field position here for LSU. Looks like we have a Gator player down. Looks like Zuniga.
Zuniga is a guy that missed 3 games with an ankle. One of those high ankle sprains, extremely painful. That's what he's holding as we take a timeout. Both the Gators' ferocious bookends out of the game. That's John Grenard. He tried to give it a go, but he brought an injury into the game and really couldn't do much. Was out very early. And then now Jabari Zuniga, the other bookend back, he was taken out of the game.
And Grenard on the left there trying to make sure his teammate is okay. You not only lose production, but leadership up front.
So some backups in the game and a 2nd and 10 play. It's still Ty Davis-Price at tailback.
Got to rely on Jeremiah Moon now at the bottom 7, applying that pressure.
Once again, Jefferson in the middle. And the ball moves to the 40. It kind of came out. Recovered it at the 40.
Well, when you sit back, and Marco Wilson's a great cover man, but he's giving about an 8-yard cushion there to Joe Burrow with his receivers. It's every single time he's going to take that and throw it to Justin Jefferson for first down yardage.
Good job by Thaddeus Moss. The tight end actually fell on that football, recovering Jefferson's fumble. Davis-Price, muscle straight ahead. Interesting to see Orgeron go with a young tailback. Edwards-Helaire has had the hot hand tonight. It's been Davis-Price on this drive.
Yeah, you caught this. Let's check this. At the end of that play where the ball comes out before it was close, they would have reviewed that. But Moss nonetheless is able to get on top of it.
And now busting into the clear. Davis-Price scores a touchdown and put the Tigers back in front. Welcome to college football, young fella. His 3rd touchdown, but that's the biggest by far.
Late movement, some confusion, Chris. Up front by Florida. They're trying, look right here, they're trying to get a defensive lineman over here, and they get him over late, but it's a little too late. Makes it easy for that right side of the offensive line to be able to get a hat on a hat, and then the fresh legs of the freshman Davis-Price. He's got nothing but room in front of him for a touchdown.
Stephen Sullivan, the tight end, provided a block. And now the 3rd touchdown of the night on the ground for the LSU running backs. And once again, it's the Gators who are going to have to answer from 7 points behind. This LSU offense has only run 34 plays, and they've scored 35 points. Wow.
Let's give the LSU defense an assist. Finally coming up with a stop. Deep in Florida's own territory, they force the punt. LSU starts in great field position at the 40-yard line, and Joe Burrow and the LSU offense able to capitalize.
As you pointed out, it was the first major penalty tonight on the Gators offense. That holding penalty that really set him back. And Burrow says, well, thank you very much. I'll take it from midfield. That'll be
no doubt
easy compared to what they've had to deal with tonight. So the shortest touchdown drive we've had.
The LSU running game comes alive tonight in a big game on a big stage. Over 200 yards now running the football.
Against a team that was allowing 93 per game on the ground. Gators allow less than 3 yards per rush. That is what Mullen was talking about at halftime, and he was unpleasantly surprised about LSU's ability to run the football. And now Trask and perhaps Jones will have to answer one more time. The National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper on display. Of course, this game with heavy implications, getting into that playoff bracket of 4. Georgia went down, so Alabama undefeated, joined by the winner of this game. LSU's got to visit the Crimson Tide. That's one of the reasons why they revamped this offense. Orgeron said, we can't score in Alabama lately.
Yeah.
We got to get things changed here.
Emory Jones now into the lineup. First time we've really seen him where they're not in plus territory.
And he intercepts and takes off. Interesting, Kirk, that Mullen has chosen this crucial drive. They're not really stopping LSU, so it's critical they try to answer, and they put Jones out there.
Yeah, shows the confidence that he has in the plan. You know, not just the players, but the plan. They had a plan coming in that they were going to use Jones in certain situations where they felt they needed him. And they're not deviating away from that in any way, despite being down 7. And as you said, not showing much sign of stopping Burrow in that offense.
Of course, if you go 3 and out, you got second guess because Trask was so sharp in that opening drive of the second half, throwing the ball to Jefferson. 2nd and 8. Another run by the quarterback. Another short gain. It's going to be 3rd down and 7. Delpit got his hat in there on the tackle.
How about Delpit? He's been all over the field the way he is every single game for the LSU defense. We've asked him if he likes to play in center field or he likes to be here and run support where he can get involved in making plays. Look at him go right around Perine and make that play. You wonder why he gets all the hype? Because of that play right there.
Now the pressure on this redshirt freshman quarterback on 3rd and 7. Crowd on his feet. Tigers showing pressure, and they bring some. Jones backpedals, fires, incomplete. Tried to find who else. Pitts on the crossing route, but Divinity knocked him down, and it's 4th down.
Now the LSU defense, the last couple series, doing a very good job of getting a push into the middle of the defense. Watch 93 Thomas get a push here, but then they bring both the linebackers. But keep an eye on the center. Watch Thomas push that center. That affects the quarterback more than anything, not just the blitzing linebackers. He was constantly falling back, never had a chance to set his feet and have a chance to make an accurate throw because of the pressure.
Yeah, Buchanan, a very calm, cerebral, good center, but at 285, he's undersized for this league. He just got shoved backwards. Downs him with a nice punt, and it'll back spin and be down at about the 23-yard line. Football season is mayhem. Curtis Wilson, the All-State bus. We appreciate his detour to Baton Rouge. And what's the All-State mayhem? I got an idea what it might be.
Oh man, this was early in the day, but what Georgia went through in South Carolina in overtime, they miss a field goal to win it in one of the overtimes. Georgia, of course, misses it. One of the best kickers in the country to tie it, and the Dogs are upset at home by Will Muschamp. A huge win for the Gamecocks and Will Muschamp.
Gators go to Columbia next week. Now Burrow fires across the middle into heavy traffic, trying to find Chase, incomplete. First time LSU's really had the ball, Kirk, now with a 7-point lead.
The run pass option, Chris, has been hurting this defense. And this time, instead of coming up, he kind of shows he's coming up and then drops. Watch Joe Burrow Brad Stewart right there, tricks him, shows he's coming up, forces the throw, and then does a good job of getting back and getting a hand on the ball.
Just the second incompletion for Burrow, 15 of 17. Use some play clock here. Gators bring some pressure off the edge, and Burrow is going to be tracked down. He saw it coming from the left side, ran to the right, but Ankrum knocked him down.
Ankrum, nice play there. He's had to come in and play more with Grenard out. Some injuries. Todd Grantham's trying to find healthy bodies.
Grantham, who Nick Saban called one of the 2 or 3 best defensive guys I've ever worked with, and that's pretty high praise. The former LSU championship coach here. First third down snap for this LSU offense since late first quarter. They're 0 for 2 tonight on third.
Is Grantham going to blitz? Is he going to sit back? Showing it.
It's the reputation. Yeah, they bring some pressure. Burrow has time, and a nice dart across the middle, and they converted for first down for the first time tonight to Chase.
But if you're going to leave the middle of the field open, you're just asking for trouble, because it's either going to be Chase coming in to the middle or Justin Jefferson. They do a good job with their spacing. They create matchups, and if you sit back in zone and have that big space, Chase and Jefferson find it, and that time it's Jamar Chase.
They move to 6 on what will be the final play of the fourth quarter. The Gators have been a tremendous fourth quarter team, haven't allowed a point in the last 5 fourth quarters, but their offense will have to come from behind on the Bayou tonight if Florida's going to remain unbeaten. We've got a good one. 15 minutes to play. LSU 35, Florida 28.
Would you rescue me? Would you get my back? Would you take my call when I start to crack? Would you rescue me? Would you rescue me? Would you rescue me? When I'm by myself, when I need your love, if I need your help, would you rescue me?
Beginning of the fourth quarter, Edwards-Helaire is the back on first down. And he's got it, running right into heavy traffic. Ankrum beginning to make some plays in the middle there.
Yeah, that defensive line, those linebackers have got to be able to account for the running game. The Tigers over 200 yards. It can't just be the safeties coming down to help to get numbers in the box against this potent offensive attack, especially in the perimeter with Burrow and the receivers.
Miami scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter in the opener. Haven't allowed a point in the final frame since. Second and long, Burrow delivers under pressure. Catch made by Jefferson, and he breaks a tackle. Spins around there, attacking the football, manages to hold on to it inside the 45.
Remember one of the times he caught the ball, maybe a second, or maybe 2 or 3 catches. He fumbled the ball late. That time they were attacking the football, does a much better job of protecting it. But Joe Burrow continues to have answers, and LSU continues to attack the middle of the Gators defense.
Edwards-Helaire, a short gain, and Maria Taylor can update what's going on with Zuniga, who continues to be out of the game.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. He did not go out of the locker room tunnel for Florida. He went towards the tunnel that leads to the X-ray room. I don't have an update on him yet, but waiting for him to return. But he left and has not come back, and we don't have the latest injury update yet.
2 of the premier pass rushers in the conference, if not the country, out of the game now. Burrow zips it short, incomplete. Well defended by C.J. Henderson there. Looking for Chase.
Yeah, we keep talking over and over this year about Joe Burrow. These two have been going at it all night. Going to continue to go at it here in the fourth quarter. We've talked a lot about Burrow, but man, these receivers, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, they're the beneficiaries of this new system. But Joe Brady challenged them to 10,000 receptions in the offseason leading into this year. And these guys, they deserve as much credit as Burrow with their route running, consistency, their hands. They fit perfectly in what they're doing with this new offense.
4 receivers to the left, 1 to the right on 3rd and 8. Burrow looking to his left, and it's caught in traffic by Jefferson. Does not have first down yardage. He stopped at the 35. Very iffy field goal range here.
A little pushing and shoving there. I'll tell you what, Florida this time said enough of these inside crossing routes. Watch this time Bernie dial it up. This time he's going to literally turn his body and say, where is he? Where is he? There he is. Okay, that way he can help out. One of the few times we've seen a nickelback or a linebacker turn and get involved.
And on 4th down and 3, Orgeron not looking for a long field goal attempt. It would be a 52-yarder to try to make it a double-digit lead. That's beyond the career long of Cade York, so the offense will try to move to 6. They need a full 3.
Remember in our meeting yesterday, Coach O said we get across the 50, it's 4th down. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. He's not. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to coach aggressive.
This is the first time he's had a chance to put his money where his mouth is, as
right.
Mullen has a conversation with referee James Carter. He's out on the field, and the crowd sees it and is booing. I think they're being told they can't substitute on defense. We're going to have to put the original group back in there because LSU did not substitute.
He'll get a little excited down there now.
It's heating up, isn't it? On the field and on the sideline.
He'll get excited down there.
Here we go, 4th down. And the Gators get a stop.
Joe Burrow looks over. Communication from Joe Brady. Steve Insminger down. Get the right call based on the look they're getting.
It's Jefferson in motion and a flag.
The Gators. No, Andrew McGee, the left guard, moved.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
The Gators got the flinch, and here comes the punt team now.
It looks like they were maybe just trying to draw them off. 73 right here. McGee flinches. Watch Joe Burrow in frustration.
He saw it right away. So now Van Rosenberg is going to try to pin the Gators deep. That was a crucial moment there. Few penalties. That's just the 2nd on LSU, but see if it proves important as the lefty boots it high with backspin. Swing gets out of the way, and the coverage team will just grab it about the 7-yard line. Boober joined again this week by Ryan Clark on NFL Primetime. Tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern Time only on ESPN+. TJ still recovering from that Achilles injury. All the highlights and updates after the Sunday and Monday night games. Scott Van Pelt, Joe Tessitore will be part of the fun as well.
How about that stop there by Florida? First stop since going back to the early part of the 2nd quarter. Could not have come at a better time. Now they have bad field position, but at least they're able to keep the lead by LSU at 1 possession.
So their consecutive 3-and-outs by the Gators offense moving backwards, and now they are backed up in the loudest part of the ballpark.
And they go back to Trask after Jones did not work out last series.
Trask from the pocket. Downfield shot. One-on-one battle, and it's over the head. Trying to go to Cleveland against Fulton.
Yeah, 50-50 ball where you hope Cleveland with the speed can go up and make a play on it. But Fulton, good coverage, in position there, not surprised by the play call. Stride for stride with the talented and gifted Tyree Cleveland.
All season long, it's been LSU bombing away with the deep shots. They haven't really taken many tonight. It's been the Gators doing it.
That's right. And we've not really called Kyle Pitts' name much at all in this 2nd half. He's in line now here.
Had those 4 catches for 1st downs in the 1st half. Hasn't caught a ball after halftime. Trask pressure from the end zone. Just has to throw it away. As barreling in was big Tyler Shelvin from the nose tackle position.
Well, Pitts couldn't get off the line of scrimmage. He was jammed at the line right here. Good job by Jacob Phillips. Disrupts the timing of Pitts. He can't get away, and it allows the big fella Tyler Shelvin to get home. That's how important it is to be able to jam that tight end at the line of scrimmage, and Jacob Phillips doing his job there.
Sophomore from Lafayette has a lot of power in that pass rush. 3rd and long again, empty backfield. Tigers showing pressure. They don't bring it. Trask gets it out quickly, and the catch is made by Freddie Swain, who has had a quiet night until that very big play.
What a block here by DeLance, getting down and picking up the man, in this case, Jacoby Stevens 3. Right there. You don't have to blow him up, but that in man-to-man, that's who had the receiver in coverage. Nice job of getting downfield and almost just kind of screening him to give him a chance to pick up those yards there. Nice call also by Dan Mullen, anticipating the coverage.
And Swain, who scored that early touchdown last week against Auburn, hadn't had a catch tonight until a 21-yard gain on 3rd and 10.
Yeah, career day last week.
Trask. High throw off the hands of Van Jefferson.
That was fantastic by Kyle Trask. Working left, trusting his offensive line, comes back and finds the throwing lane to his right. Watch his head. Looking left, working left, He's not going to give up on it. Comes back, and there's Van Jefferson, not quite able to hold on to it. But Kyle Trask that time, nice job of working through his progressions.
In the pistol, it's Perine. No movement up front. The Tigers just clogged the middle. Shelvin and Logan.
You know, Dan Mullen, you might say, why are they running the ball here in the fourth quarter? That's actually been a strength of theirs. Dan Mullen told us this week, we can't abandon the running game. It may not work, but look what they've done in the fourth quarter in comparison to the first 3 quarters. 7 yards a carry in the fourth quarter. So he's not going to give up on it because he expects maybe to pop one.
Yeah, the 88-yarder from Perine against Auburn certainly skews that average, but he's hoping that Lightning can strike again. They need 12 on this third down. Trask harassed, delivers, catch made. And that's Grimes still battling, and they've completed 2 passes on 3rd and long to keep the drive alive across the 45.
How about the importance of being able to climb in the pocket, to step up instead of get to the outside? Right there, he's able to step up by enough time, and then he locates Grimes. Grimes trying to get upfield, uses his speed to run away from the linebacker Patrick Queen. Big first down for the Gators there on 3rd down.
How about that? 19 on 3rd and 12 after 21 yards on 3rd and 10. And the crowd roaring each time. Tremendous job of the Gator offense. Now it's an option look, and Trask with that brace on the knee keeps it, catches him napping, and gains 8 yards to Matt Berry. Ended up being a thriller in South Bend. Looks like Notre Dame is going to survive. 2nd and 4. Trask slant, caught. Swain trying to fight free. Copeland, number 15, makes the catch. His first of the night. Another first down.
Yeah. Go to the trips to the field. They get the freshman to football. Throws that ball early. Watch him anticipate this. Throw that ball well before Copeland was at the top of his route. And that shows you the confidence that Trask is playing with right now against this LSU defense.
8th different receiver to catch a pass for Florida tonight. Divinity out of the game. Another option look to the boundary, and a pitch late to Perine, who juggled it but collects it and scoots for another first down.
I mean, who's this Kyle Trask? What's he doing out here? This is amazing. This guy's showing option. Remember, he carried it last time, which makes LSU respect him a little bit more and think that, hey, this guy may carry it. He flips it out there like Jamel Holloway, little flip, little lefty flip.
No look, Kirk.
No look, man. That was sweet. Perine, first down. Good acceleration there by Perine after he baited the quarterback. Trask baits chase on there to him.
Reverse. Coming around as Jefferson makes a cut. Excuse me, that's Swain. Trask down to the 12.
Big fella, 11 out front, making a block, trying to help Freddie Swain. A little bit more space there. Dan Mullen trying to get a very athletic defense, try to get him to be overly aggressive.
LSU.
There's Swain cutting right behind Kyle Trask block. How about this drive?
Drive began inside their 10. They're threatening again. .15 to play, 7-point game. You're watching the SEC on ESPN, and a remarkable performance tonight by Kyle Trask. Comes from the Houston area. Now, De'Aaron King was the starter, and he was the stud there. 6A state record, so Trask couldn't find the field, and no way was the team going to take the risk and give a guy a scholarship at quarterback who didn't start a game. Finally, interception. McElwain, Doug Nussmeier took a chance. Trask has rewarded that trust. But now it's Emory Jones in the game off the timeout. It's a 2nd and 2 from the red zone. It's a straight run to the right. And he makes a cut. He'll be met right at the 15. He'll be just short of the marker.
And the way Dan Mullen is using his quarterbacks, it's almost like the way you change up running backs. You have one running back who's a guy who runs with speed and acceleration. Next guy comes in, he's body blow, body blow, body blow. So not just the skill set of the quarterbacks, but the way he's attacking here. And he gets back to Kyle Trask, who's had a heck of a drive here with this thing started inside his own 5.
12th play of the drive. They need a yard on 3rd down. They fake it to Perine. Trask looking to throw to the end zone. Diving pick. Derek Stingley made the pick. He'd been picked on all night, and now he makes the Tigers' biggest defensive play.
That is a big-time play. He gets beat, as you said, against Jefferson. Tough second half. Gets looked at on the sideline. Maybe concussion protocol. Comes back, and I want you to watch and really see the technique that he plays with. Watch his eyes. Watch how he's looking back, anticipating the football, able to adjust and find the ball. So the location, the anticipation, and the eyes on the ball gave Stingley a chance to make that big interception.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton. College football stays here. Book now at Hampton.com and in part by Modelo. A taste that's pure gold. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
Midway walk of the final quarter. LSU back to work after Stingley's 3rd interception in the last 3 games. First takeaway tonight, and they're not thinking about milking the clock. Burrow looking to throw across the middle, and it's complete. And Chase is off and running. Haven't, again, taken a downfield shot, but those have been effective routes.
Yeah, but this shows you the adjustment here by LSU. So many crossers by Chase and Jefferson. This time, instead of going all the way across, puts his foot in the ground, pivots the other direction, catches Florida off guard.
Edwards-Helaire, the traffic. You know, the difficulty of quarterbacks coming in and out of the lineup. Kirk Trask comes in there. They need less than a yard on 3rd down, and after he wasn't in the previous play, comes back and tries to make a throw to the end zone.
Yeah, and it's 3rd and less than a yard there, and he's a big physical guy. I really thought when he got under center that it was going to be a quarterback sneak, just to get that 1st down.
Give it to Perine. Burrow on a slant. And the catch is made by Moss, who muscles for a 1st down across the 45.
Now this Gators defense is being asked once again to try to come up with a stop.
It should be fresh. LSU's only run 45 plays tonight.
One thing I've been impressed with this year with LSU is that in crunch time, game on the line like the game in Texas, they don't go with conventional wisdom. Hey, let's run the ball, make them use their timeouts. They continue to attack with Burrow in this offense. It's a different mentality in Baton Rouge now with this offensive approach.
They will, however, let the play clock run down, not looking to snap it quickly. 5 receiver look. Burrow steps up and will take a downfield shot and has Chase, and he'll score! Yards. Dink, dunk, and finally, Kirk, they strike deep.
Well, they had Edwards-Helaire, the running back, out the outside. He kind of sets a pick there, and Ventrell Miller, the linebacker, gets in the way of the defensive back there, C.J. Henderson. So by flexing out the running back out of the backfield all the way out as a receiver, it brought a linebacker out there with the back, and then he sets up a nice little rub route, kind of a pick, and frees up Jamar Chase, who was covered there by C.J. Henderson.
And Chase, one of the premier deep threats in all of college football, has now been targeted 7 times on deep balls, and he's caught 7 of them. And the Tigers up now 2 touchdowns, 5:43 to play. watching the SEC on ESPN as the LSU students taunt the Gators. Florida took the opening kickoff of the third quarter, took the lead in 21 unanswered points as we see John Robinson lending his experience eyes to the LSU coaching staff as a consultant, former USC and Rams head coach. Great to visit with JR the other day. And now the Gators, who have continually come from a touchdown behind, must come from 14 down. As we check with Matt Berry.
Put a Bachmeier on us here. Love Hank Bachmeier, the freshman at Boise.
Wasn't going to be easy for Penn State as Iowa's coming off that loss to Michigan, but they escaped with a 5-point win, and we'll see Nittany Lions and Wolverines on ABC next Saturday night. Trask now, a little urgency, 2 touchdowns behind, zips it once again to Jefferson, short gain.
Jefferson, of course, has had a big night, had that big drive to start the second half. They're putting him back into the boundary. He was up against Stingley. Right now, he's going up against Christian Fulton.
Gators can't really afford to be methodical at this point.
There needs to be some urgency here with Trask.
Trask has time and delivers across the middle. That's Pitts going down, and he couldn't come up with it. It'll be third down.
LSU has done a much better job in the second half against Kyle Pitts. We've not called his name at all here in the second half. They targeted him 11 times. I think almost all those in the first half until that throw right there. 4 receptions on a night. Looked like he was going to have a big night, a big weapon.
And so Dave Aranda did a good job making those adjustments after halftime. Gators need 5. LSU brings the blitz. They pick it up. Ball out. Catch made. First down, Florida across the 35 by Jefferson.
Boy, watch how Trask, again, works to the right. Knows that he has Jefferson. He's falling back because of the blitz, because of that pass rush. Watch him look right. Comes back immediately. Doesn't even really have a chance to step into his throw, but he knows that he has Jefferson working back to the ball, back there to the short side of the field. And those two right now really feeling that connection.
Blindside pressure. Trask goes down. Jason got him.
Well, when you're in obvious passing situations, you better identify where 18 is, because he is coming around the corner with a lot of speed. Forsythe is a big, powerful tackle, but he doesn't have that suddenness and quickness, especially when Jason knows that you're going to be back there in that pocket.
He beat the tackle and Perine, who couldn't help out. Perine's got the football now, but Jason made a huge impact play as the elite pass rusher puts the Gators in serious trouble now, 3rd and long.
Interesting call there for the Gators on 2nd and long. Now it puts them in 3rd.
They got 2 plays 16. To get 16.
Yep. They've moved Pitts out here, flexed out.
See if the Tigers try to bring some heat again. Now they rush 5, clean runner. Trask gets it out. Screen, Swain, first down. Another clutch completion on 3rd and very long.
Yeah, he had a screen set up both ways and does a good job at getting it back to the near side. Yeah, the offensive lineman, Forsythe, 72, gets out there. He knows the blitz is coming, saw the pressure. It's really just a matter of being able to get that throw out there and being able to see if Swain can get underneath that first defender. And Forsythe, the left tackle, does a good job of getting out of there and make that block on Fulton.
He knocked him to the ground.
He did.
Now far side throw, catch made by Jacob Copeland, and Trask sharp again. Gators in business inside the 40.
Well, he's sitting in no man's land in that pocket right now. whether it's Chason on one side, Marcel Brooks that time hit him as he threw the football.
Christian Fulton asking out the corner. They'll bring in the freshman Jay Ward to replace him.
Replay.
He jumped offside. Trask spots it and fires into traffic. Pitts down near the 10. Tigers thought they had this drive snuffed out with the sack by Chason.
Well, there's the matchup again with Pitts. This time he's able to work away from the freshman Jay Ward. That's a mismatch. A true freshman at Jay Ward against the veteran there in Kyle Pitts.
Outside. Defense number 18. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Cade's trying to hold on to all three of those timeouts. Again, Trask needs to have urgency inside the red zone where they've had a lot of success tonight scoring touchdowns.
And Mullen wants to use those timeouts, no doubt, on defense if they can get a touchdown here. Trask slant again, incomplete. Trying to get to Copeland. LSU defenders, Kirk, you can tell they're worn down physically. Florida's run 78 plays, beginning to get frustrated with each other out there.
Yeah, I think communication, you know, when you're defending that many plays and Florida doing a good job of mixing up their looks, it's affecting the communication in the back end. And if they're not going to get the Trask, they're holding on for dear life in coverage right now because Trask has been very efficient throwing the football. Got to keep taking those vertical seams, looking for those chances to get upfield.
Weary looking dudes in the white jerseys at the moment, though. Play clock at 5. 3-man rush. So Trask should have time. Fires across the middle. High, incomplete, into traffic. Delpit was patrolling the area. Swain, the intended receiver.
Yeah, I think that time he may have predetermined where to go with the football. He's had so much success with Freddie Swain last week and at times tonight. Little stutter move to try to get behind the linebacker, Jacob Phillips. But Delpit, Chris, as you said, kind of sitting there waiting on it. And I think he forced that one in there into double coverage.
All right, Kirk, do they have more third and long magic? They're 9 of 15 tonight on third down. They need 10.
Be surprised if they don't move Pitts out. Right now he's in tight.
Perine motions out left. Trask running all the way, has a crease. Can he get there? No. Hit hard, knocked down by Delpit. It'll be 4th and 4.
Delpit can play center field. He can play man. He can blitz. He can come up and run support. Prides himself on being able to do it all, and he's done it all tonight.
Gators spend their first timeout. Crucial play coming up. Goodyear providing aerial coverage from end zone to end zone. Goodyear more driven. Gators 10 yards from the end zone, Kirk, but they need 4 on this 4th down play.
They're going to go with an empty set, 5 receivers, spreading LSU out, telling Kyle Trask, survey the field, find the best matchup that you like, and make it work.
In the slot, it's Swain to the right, Pitts to the left. Plenty of time on the clock. Trask has time, delivers, intercepted! Picked up by Christian Fulton in a foot race! A flag is down. They drag him down at the 35.
Chris, this may be a personal foul. Could be a personal foul on LSU. They came in very low and submarine Trask as he threw the football. It's either going to be a holding call or a submarine shot by LSU's defense.
Now, it was Marcel Brooks, that true freshman pass rusher. They brought in fresh legs who dove low.
Yeah, and that's a no-no with a quarterback. You had a few things. You had hands in the face. You had watch 9, how low he goes on Trask. Hits him down low. It might be okay there.
Shoulder pad kind of on the right hip of the quarterback. And here's James Carter.
There were 2 fouls on the play, both against the defense. Personal foul, roughing the passer, low hit on the quarterback, number 9. After the return, number 7 of the intercepting team, unsportsmanlike conduct. Both fouls will be enforced half the distance. Automatic first down.
So it is Brooks, the low hit to the quarterback, and then Delpit, the veteran, with the personal foul. The Gators going to be right on the doorstep here.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like the game's over after the big interception. Just happened to look at that quarterback, saw him get submarine, and thought that maybe Florida catches a break. In fact, they get 2 fouls.
Bring in Bill Lamagna, rules expert in the booth here. Bill, that's a new emphasis, the low hit on the quarterback this year.
It's been there a few years, but he's in a passing posture. You have to keep that hit above the knee area. You got to be to the waist. And he took him out in a dangerous area for his legs. So that's a correct call. And comment, this crew's done an outstanding job and an outstanding game tonight.
Absolutely.
So the officiating's matched the quality of the game.
I agree with you.
Now, Gators with a 1st and goal. We got those 2 timeouts left. Crowd not as enthused about the call as you are, Bill, but the Gators trying to
that myself when I was out in the field. So.
Trask, it's his trick play. They snap it to Perine, and he throws it to the end zone. Jump ball incomplete. Are you kidding me, Dan Mullen? Trask was up, acted like he was going to change the protection. Perine got the direct snap.
I do a lot of homework. Tell me he's left-handed. I don't know if he's left-handed. I hope he's left-handed because I don't. Dan Mullen, he's got Perine taking a direct snap. Trask is acting like he's directing traffic off to the right.
Ward comes up and pressures him.
And he's just going to throw it up. What the heck? Take a chance. See if Cleveland almost comes down with the football.
He did almost come down with it. 2nd and goal. Trask across the middle, incomplete. Again, he was trying to get the ball to Cleveland. And Kerry Vincent Jr., the speedy corner in coverage. 3rd down.
Kerry Vincent was beat, but does a good job with that closing speed. They say he has elite speed to be able to catch up. I think he also helped with that right arm pulling on Cleveland to help assist him to catch up, but he gets away with it.
Sure did.
And they went 3 receivers and a tight end to the right on the last play, and they worked to the right. Now they go 3 receivers into the boundary with a tight end to the left.
Perine straight forward, straight ahead, nothing. Neil Farrell, Patrick Queen clogged it up. It is 4th down again.
The big fella Farrell does a good job working off that block to make a play. And with Quinn Logan down the last few weeks, he's had to be able to help out and play, and he's done a good job. Watch him work off physical block there by Heggie and get in there and make a nice stop. Another 4th down.
Yeah, they need it here. Even if they scored there, they've used time up as the Bayou Bengals have defended their goal line. 4th and goal. Ball game here. Option look. Trask. Slam to the ground by Chason. LSU makes a stand, and they're going to survive tonight in Death Valley.
Yeah. Just too slow developing play. Dan Mullen, this play has worked for them. It worked last week against Auburn. We've seen it even tonight. We were kind of kidding. Who's he faking to? It's all about the timing and the way he does this. It looks a little disoriented, like it's not working. But here, LSU has a man on the quarterback, and they got number 8, Patrick Queen, on the running back. There's really nothing he can do. LSU prepared, anticipating, chase on in position, Patrick Queen in position. Tigers hold him there on 4th down near the goal line.
If you want, on the LSU side, one player to be responsible for protecting the quarterback, it would be Chason, the elite athlete who made the play. And twice, right down at that end of the field, the interception made by Stingley and the stop there by Chason on 4th down. And LSU's defense, troubled at times tonight, makes 2 big stops here in the 4th quarter. Shotgun in the end zone, protecting the lead. Edwards-Helaire just barrels forward. And the clock stop for Florida timeout. After we're done, keep it right here for SportsCenter. Michael Eaves and Kenny Mayne. Ed Orgeron and Dan Mullen's live post-game press conferences. Think about the CFP teams that had the easiest path to the playoff. Yankees Stros well-pitched game 1. Nationals Cardinals game 2 reaction. Sports Center right here and on the ESPN app. Really interesting game. It was back and forth in the first half. Gators took the lead early in the third quarter. And then LSU with 21 unanswered points and 2 big defensive stops deep in their end in the fourth quarter.
Heck of a game. LSU took Florida's best shot here. Kyle Trask very well prepared. Dan Mullen brought his team in. They faced some adversity. Lost Grignard early in this game. Lost a number of players that they were really counting on, and especially Zuniga goes down. They just kept battling, kind of kept hanging in there despite some of those injuries, despite the adversity of playing on the road. They didn't come away with a win, and Dan Mullen's not into moral victories, but they should be proud of the way they played through some adversity.
And the concern going forward with the health of Grignard and Zuniga, they're fine pass rushers. Edwards-Helaire, who's got 134 yards tonight. Burrow, 21 of 24, 293, the 3 touchdowns. You know, they had exactly 1 Heisman Trophy finalist at LSU in the last 4 decades. You know who that was? One guy who's even made it as a finalist. Tyrann Mathieu.
Tyrann Mathieu
was the only LSU guy, and Burrow stays on course. He's in the conversation.
2 really good teams. LSU is going to be a tough out. I know they go to Tuscaloosa eventually, but with that offense, defense is going to get healthier, get better. They're a legitimate top 4, top 5 team in the country right now.
Challenge is just beginning at Mississippi State. Then Auburn comes in here. Then he said the bye before Bama. So it's a lot more work to be done. But LSU gets to 6-0. It was fun tonight. 42-28. The Bayou Bengals survive. And Florida suffers their first loss. Now, Sports Center is coming up. We'll be back very soon for more post-game reaction from Baton Rouge, guys.